Your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
Play the Capital Golf Charity Amateur Tour July 31st at Prairie View for $70. Support great causes like Wounded Warrior Project and V Foundation. CapitalGolf.net.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
It's the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Make your game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your tickets now. It's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Red Sox, Rays, Sunday Night Baseball. The coverage begins at 6 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard. A pick 6 for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Sabonis down the lane with authority.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in. Let me start by thanking a lot of folks. Yesterday, the second annual smoke-off between me and Mike Wells of ESPN.com was fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. And in case you don't know, by virtue of his weekly appearance on this show, or both he and Denny Smith downstairs on WIBC on Saturday mornings, Pat Sullivan is the absolute best. The best. So the next time you're in any of his locations, certainly 71st and Keystone at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, hey, make it a point with whatever you might be looking for, shopping for, whatever, to go up to Pat and thank him, because yesterday was great. And it has nothing to do with my meat or the meat of Mike Wells or anything. It has everything to do with $4+ grand on one day going to Teachers Treasures and Margaret, because you know my feeling about our educators and teachers. The Brownsburg Educational Foundation got a check yesterday as well from that event. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. I am so glad that if it's that or maybe a bowling event, we used to do those. Hell, I don't know if we do those any longer. Okay, thank you. Whether it's that or, obviously my golf outing coming up in October, which I need to unleash the information on that, because that's going to be coming up sooner rather than later. I love the fact that we do it for Teachers Treasures. I have such a profound respect for that profession, educators and teachers. Nothing I would love to celebrate more than continuously trying to do stuff for Teachers Treasures, because Margaret and the gang do such a fantastic job. But it was great to see you guys over there yesterday. I know it was a little bit hot, a little bit sweaty, and I did get hot and sweaty. It was hot and sweaty. I do like it. It was a great time yesterday. It really was. Saw a lot of you. Shout out to Pat Sullivan for putting this on. Denny Smith, Mark Sion. Denny's, of course, Pat's partner on 93 WIBC on Saturday mornings. Mark Sion, a Big Green Egg. Big Joe was out there yesterday helping us out, too. It was a great time. Really was. And it was fantastic to see you come out there on a Tuesday. I know we're going to need to probably work that on a Friday at some point. But here's the thing. I like it because everybody's now starting school. Whether you have gone through orientation by now or you're already back to school. So this is a perfect time to really shine that spotlight on what is necessary for our educators as they start a brand new school year in classes, and then not only what they have to deal with and overcome at the beginning to get those classrooms ready, but then obviously what's thrown at them over the course of the year. It's always a very special event, and Yeah, give Pat a shout out because he deserves it. It was awesome yesterday. It really was. And we had some really strong content. I mean, closer and closer to the NBA draft. It seems like now that more mock drafts out there, as if you take everything that you see and go, oh, yeah, that's going to be true. But it seems like most of these mock drafts now have Davion Mitchell sliding to 13 to the Pacers. So before I was thinking, yeah, you know what they're going to do? They're probably going to go ahead and trade back and get an established player, get rid of one of their own. You know, that was kind of the basis surrounding the Kyle Kuzma rumor that apparently wasn't just a rumor. It started yesterday. J. Michael tweeted about it and said it was absolutely true. The Pacers turned that down. And I'm not the biggest Kyle Kuzma guy out there, but the more and more you think about it, the more and more it might or could have made a little bit of sense. And I guess it was probably more of me on my way home trying to talk myself into it a little bit, going, maybe I didn't give it enough credit. Maybe I didn't give it enough thought. But maybe it did make some sense. I mean, essentially you're talking about, T.J. Warren, Kyle Kuzma, same position. But there's one thing that I shouldn't forget about, but I guess we often do forget about, is just the multitude of injuries that took place a year ago. The fact that T.J. Warren, we haven't seen him play since the bubble. And I know the bubble was just a year ago, but I mean, hell, it seems like 3 years ago. We haven't seen that guy play since the bubble. So maybe it was just me trying to talk myself into it. I don't think it's a move for the sake of doing a move. I know initially I shot it down. Yeah, I guess it's after the fact that the Pacers didn't want anything to do with it. Is on my way home, I was talking to Blake, and he didn't have any idea, but he was going, "What are you talking about, Dad? What?" Probably didn't want to talk about it, but I was using him as a soundboard anyway. But we'll dive back into that. We got a lot for you, too. It seems like, and I had mentioned this, that they are seriously shopping Malcolm Brogdon. Now, and I said this yesterday, the one that continuously floats out there is Malcolm Brogdon for Lonzo Ball, essentially. And the thing about Malcolm Brogdon is something, right? I mean, it really is something. He puts up good numbers. But he has been, certainly defensively on the floor, has been a part of the issue, a large part of the issue. He, to me, is completely out of place, even with scoring and putting up those numbers, out of place and trying to play that point. And as I brought up to a couple of different people on this show for the past month, he does have a considerable image problem with the fan base here. And I'm not just talking about the fan base that, believes that because you're outspoken about one thing or the other and you start to get political that, they're going to disassociate themselves with you. I'm not talking about that. The part I'm talking about is their belief, or the fan base belief, that he in large part is the reason why this team is on its third coach in 2 years. Right or wrong, that is what he has around here from this fan base been tagged with. And you can go at some point, I mean, hell, not now, but after 6 o'clock or sometime coming up tomorrow, midday or the afternoon before I start, you can go to the podcast with Alex Golden and I talking about that. And I don't know if you're going to be able to get over that hump. I mean, it's one thing if that is an issue. If in real time that's an issue. I mean, that is one thing, and you do have to do something about that. But what if, in large part, maybe there's a shred of truth, little bit of truth, but what if there's no truth to that at all? Because when you compare the two, other than age, Brogdon and Ball, it doesn't make 1 ounce of sense other than you don't like him because he's the reason why this team, this franchise, is on its third coach in 2 years. I just don't know if you're going to be able to run that back. I don't know if you're going to be able to change anybody's mind other than through play. I mean, clearly you'd have to be, if you plan on having him around, I mean, you'd want him to play well, and maybe he can play his way to making the fan base feel better about him. But I've talked about that being an issue, and it is an issue here. I mean, why else, again, other than age and a 4-year age difference, would you try to compare and make sense out of how positive Lonzo Ball for Malcolm Brogdon would be, other than that? And again, I'm not trying to diminish the role that it would play if he has been an issue. But I'm just talking about the type of production that you get from either one. I mean, everybody talked about Ball's numbers a year ago, and look at his three-point shooting is up, but I mean, hell, it's still right there, or maybe just a smidge worse than Brogdon. So I think the Pacers have, and I've said this before, more of an issue with him than just him being out of place. More than just needing a true point guard, or just somewhere in the neighborhood of a true point guard. But that's still, I mean, other than what may or may not be going on behind the scenes within the organization, doesn't make that is not a good one right there. That's not. And I don't know if that's, because maybe his value is not all that high around the NBA. Maybe that's the deal. But we were talking about that yesterday, and that was something else I tried to make sense about, once I got home, and I just kept coming up with, well, wait a minute, you're going to trade these numbers for those? I mean, if you're going to do that, then there has to be something seriously wrong, and maybe that's it. I mean, maybe because this name is being shopped around as consistently as we've heard it be shopped around, maybe that goes to show you that something is or has been going on without anybody really hearing about it. And, those that suggest they hear about it probably didn't really hear anything, probably just making it up. That's what you do. Just make it up. Well, this is what I've heard. Okay. I bet you have heard it. But clearly there is something to it. And I'm assuming coming up tomorrow night, by virtue of what happens at 13 or doesn't happen at 13, we are probably going to get a pretty big window to look through to see where this team is going with a couple of players in mind. So that's going to make tomorrow night incredibly interesting. So we'll hit that. Bowen's going to be here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We got a variety of things to get to. He's up at Colts camp shooting video. Are you guys, I'm just curious, anybody tired? Show of hands of the Carson Wentz. I told you the Carson Wentz videos and commentary is coming, and I don't give a crap about not telling anybody whether or not he's vaccinated. That whatever. Do whatever you want to do with that. I'm just talking about you are going to be hit over the head constantly about every single throw. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier, too. And this is just, folks around here are doing their jobs in keeping you updated. It's just because you want everybody's angle, because it matters to you so much. You're following everybody, and all these things, and it's basically the same thing, come at the same time. Like Carson Wentz's completion to T.Y. Hilton, it was a popular video, but it all came at you at the same time. And that's what I was talking about. You are going to consistently get that. And I don't know if that's going to wear you out. But again, I'll tell you, these guys are just doing their job. Folks want to make fun of it. Folks want to say stuff about it. But it's just doing their job. But you probably will be worn out. And I had to laugh, too, because a couple of the first comments, and I'll bring that up to Kevin, the 5 o'clock hour was, already a rough practice for Mo Alley Cox, who's had a couple of drops. I didn't even know the guy had been out there long enough to get his shoes tied. Can you imagine Can you imagine if I wanted to take the loudmouth jackass role here and go, well, I told you. Hey, I told you that tight end position is going to be an issue. Clearly, you could tell with the first passes softly thrown to Mo Alley Cox that he's an issue. I mean, can you imagine? Thought about that very thing. I mean, essentially, yeah, you don't even get your shoes tied or your chin strap latched, and then you're already dropping passes, and you got people already coming up with the reasons why that position's not going to work out. The jumping to conclusions is absolutely fantastic, but that's, alas, what you do. And that's why I'm here to help kind of even things out, right? I mean, not get too high, not get too low, keep it right here. That's what I said yesterday about Team USA. I mean, clearly, and I know it doesn't really count right now because they beat Iran by like a couple of 1,000 points. But you know, after that France loss, it was, you know, this and that. Everything has to go haywire when you have that group playing that far down to the competition. You know, even with the competition being 2 or 3 NBA dudes. But to me, and again, me and my not-so-subtle breakdown of the last 3 minutes, it was certainly more about guys not being able to hit wide-open shots than it was anything else, or lack of defensive recognition off an inbounds play. That is the simple way to put it, but I thought it was the logical way to put it. Yeah, I don't know if everything is all right with them right now, but I guess you end up doing... I didn't even watch it. I don't even know where it is. This whole thing is so confusing. I guess that's just the old man in me popping out. It's just confusing. I mean, I get up in the morning and it's live. No, it's live at night. I get up. Is it live? When is it live and when is it? And when do I get to log on to Peacock TV? I always bring this up. You have to, and it's people like me, and believe me, there's a larger segment of me's out there. I mean, a lot of you and me are on the same page with this. There's a larger section of me's out there than are given credit for. I just don't want to do, like I told you this before, I get completely hosed with DirecTV. I mean, I pay just this incredible bill. It's embarrassing how much I pay. And literally, you know what I watch. If I'm not watching sports, it's like one of a handful of movies or old TV shows. I mean, seriously. I can't tell you the last time. I didn't even know that there were channels in front of, like, I'd always go to 245. That's TNT. And right, you don't have DirecTV. But I never really knew that you had USA and Paramount and all this other crap that's in front of. I go, wait a minute. There are channels in front of this. So my viewing habits, I think, are logically different. But as far as trying to gain content, I think we're probably on the same page, a lot of us. You just want to be able to hit a button and go, oh, there it is. Hey, there it is. Oh, what? You don't need my, it's a button. You don't need my password. I mean, I have not utilized Kyle in this fashion, but our friend Tony Donahue knew all my passwords. Want to know why? Because I didn't. I don't know any of them. None. Well, you need my password and this. So the whole button thing and just knowing that it's easy and it's right there will always matter to me, large percentage of us out there. And I don't know if it makes it right. And I know that I should be smarter than that, but frankly, I'm not. And I know you guys understand that. I'm not. I'm not that bright. I'm just not. Yeah, it's funny. Somebody brought up the Simone Biles situation. And I guess in this day and age, when you sit in this seat or any other seat like it, you're supposed to just, hey, I got to have an opinion on it. Here's my opinion on it. I don't know. Because I've never been in that situation. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, you've never, taken a jump shot in a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. No, but I know what a jump shot looks like. I mean, I took about 15 of them last night until about 11 o'clock. I mean, I think I know what good basketball looks like compared to bad basketball. I think I know what success on a baseball field or a football field. I'll take a guess on what success might be as far as a draft selection. Take a guess on that, an educated guess. I don't have any of that as far as what somebody might be going through mental health-wise. None. I've always just kind of been, there's not, I think this plays a role. I'm not the brightest dude ever. So it doesn't take a lot. And plus, I've not been in, the most pressure situations I've been is doing this. And it's not like I've tried to challenge myself outside of this. I'll give you a great example. Like Sage Karam is going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Of course, you know him from the Indy 500, open wheel. He's going to challenge himself in the Xfinity Series. And he's not going to be able to get behind the wheel and basically of an Xfinity Series car until that point in time. That's a pressure cooker of sorts. It's certainly higher than what I do. There's not a lot of pressure. I'm like even Steven, and it doesn't take a lot. And I've never had to deal with stuff like that. So pardon me if I don't understand or want to try to climb in to the situation of somebody that has been involved and inside that pressure cooker her entire life. I have no idea. Conrad Brunner, who's a friend of mine, just a fantastic writer, former worker at this station, former writer for the Star and the Indianapolis News, had a Facebook post, and I won't go into it all, but I thought it was probably as best put, given that situation, as anybody that I have read. Because I think generationally, there's something going on here. We come from a generation where, and I was a part of that too, we come from a generation where if you got injured, you were supposed to rub dirt on it. And these are Conrad Brunner's thoughts. These are not my original thoughts. Where you rub dirt on it. Or where, you're a wimpy if you thought you had to go over and have a drink of water. This is the way we look at things, the way we grew up and the way things are viewed right now are completely different. And the one thing we never had to mess with back then was social media. And as much as I dig it in some forms because I like communicating with you, and I've told you this before, my intent, if I have to get on there and feel the need, I have to argue with people, then I'm just not going to get on there. I don't want to argue with anybody. But that adds just such, in just the way it is, an incredibly negative twist to all this. And then you have a lot of the hot button, loudmouth phonies out there that feel you got to have a take on something, and you start talking about stuff that you have no rightly idea about. And it's much different than talking about that from a standpoint of a make or a miss jump shot. So I checked out. Well, wait a minute. You would have done this to Michael Jordan or you would have done this to LeBron James. No, I wouldn't have. We brought this up yesterday. LeBron James would take crap when he would defer or when he'd make an extra pass and somebody else would shoot. Believe me, Jordan would have taken a similar level of crap even before the social media era had Steve Kerr or John Paxson not knocked down open jump shots. But they did, and he didn't. That is a product of the game. That, to me, is understandable. This stuff, to me, this is not make or miss. And what it is, it's the opportunity for a lot of people to do what they feel they do best to help grow their brand. And that is scream and yell and shake their fist and pound the table on crap they have no idea. And that's one thing I've always tried to do. And believe me, this job or any job like this will turn you into a hypocrite pretty quickly if you're not careful. I mean, it will. Because you say so much and talk so much. And at least for me, I try to be as well thought out as to what I'm going to say as possible. But things happen on the fly where you just can't be. And I know sometimes I think, well, wait a minute, I've said something different. But there's still a difference. I mean, there's a difference between me, bringing up, move Quentin Nelson to left tackle and giving you reasons than me trying to dive in on a conversation like this where I have no idea. I mean, you think I don't have an idea about playing offensive line. You should see how much of an idea I have about what somebody like that is going through. None. So in the process of trying to be, really as fair and balanced as possible and just not the over the top, I don't have anything else to say, I got to stir it up, somebody's expecting me to come off the proverbial top rope jackass, that is not going to be me. That has never been me. And frankly, I listen to folks that are a little bit more balanced other than, read or listen to those that aren't. So, yeah, if you ask me why, that's why. I just don't know. I don't know. I've never gone through anything like that. I can tell you this, sitting here or doing what I do on Saturday or just having my life is basically Groundhog Day. I do the same damn thing every day. It is weird. I do the same thing that's probably flawed, but I do. You want to know why? Because it is comfortable to me. I really don't know how it feels to be uncomfortable. I'll ask Sage Karam that a little bit later. He's doing something outside of his normal racing discipline that will make him feel incredibly uncomfortable. I don't ever do that. Going next door doesn't make me feel I'm completely comfortable because I know what you're going to ask for the most part, and I know the catalog. I knew what I'm doing. If I were to go someplace else and feel uncomfortable, you might get a completely different and even more awful / annoying me. Can you imagine that? So at times, I think when you do this, it's absolutely okay to defer. And, either leave it up to the person that's going through it to answer or leave it up to somebody else that certainly has a great deal more knowledge to the subject matter. So that's the way that it is. It's just so different. And we're just supposed to sit here and, just kind of go off on everything. And there's some things you just probably are better said just to sit there and defer. So that's what you do. And believe me, I know this gig will turn you into a hypocrite, as I mentioned in a minute. It's really hard not to. It's hard not because, you end up talking so much. You can talk yourself into a corner. I always thought this when I first started this job. I always thought you got to think at least a couple of sentences ahead because you don't want to go ahead and wiggle yourself into a corner where you can't get out of. That used to happen a lot. But I always get the fallback on. I just go, well, I'm stupid, and you guys know that. Go, okay. Other folks don't have that similar level of comfort, and I've always had a respect for that. So, in turn, I'll give that respect right here, and we'll see where it goes from here. But anyway, a lot of you have asked me that, and it was weird. I was going to address it yesterday, but you're outside, and in that first segment where I address a lot of things and we kind of get the ball rolling with things we're going to talk about, I was sitting outside, and we had heat situations, and our stuff was melting down, and I go, this is a little bit more important to address than doing it, during the second annual smoke-off, for example, which is highly important, but and then I saw what Conrad Brunner had written just via Facebook on his own, and I thought it was as pointed, as knowledgeable, as good, as reasonable as anything you're going to read. So if you follow Bruno on Facebook or something, check that out and see if that makes sense to you, because it completely made sense to me. And especially in a world where not a lot does. And believe me, I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from my comfort level, which I'm rarely out of. All right, quick break, and we shall return. 239-1070 is that number. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. This show is Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. I got to crack that open. I missed you guys yesterday. I don't even think I mentioned you. But they were on, right? We had the empty chair? Cool. Sage Karam, Kevin Bowen on the show today. Here's what I have for you as well. Oh, we got the Live Nation Day giveaway, too. I got to get to that. Oh, we're doing the fours? No? That's tomorrow. Okay. Not today? We're doing the Live Nation giveaway today. And I'm doing my other giveaways today or just the Live Nation giveaways? All right, just the Live Nation giveaways. Perhaps not the sharpest tool in the shed should read a script once in a while here. How about that? It's right here in front of me. Not really hard. All right, quick break, and we'll come back. We'll get into the draft stuff coming up tomorrow. The day of practice coming up at Colts camp. We'll get to Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. I got a lot more for you loaded and ready to go on this Wednesday. Back with you next.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
With our rates at a low 2.25%, refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. Get started today at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
From the first pitch to the last out, BetRivers Sportsbook has all the bases covered. BetRivers has a massive number of baseball betting options on each game, including pre-game player props and live in-game betting every inning. Sign up now and get a free play match of 100% on your first deposit up to $250. Bet with a winner. Bet with BetRivers Sportsbook. Must be 21 or over to play. Playable only in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Reunited, the Black Crows present Shake Your Moneymaker. Played in its entirety. Plus all the hits. This Sunday night at Ruoff Music Center. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Shake Your Moneymaker. Reserve seats on sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Janet. But since she is so focused on growing her career, we hired an actor to read her story.
At Geico, we really help each other. If anything comes up, we work through it as a group, so we all learn.
As a full-time employee, she can also get paid benefits like medical, dental, vision, and parental leave. She even got a plaque for her desk that says, "I'm kind of a big deal." Yeah, you are, Janet.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
Play the Capital Golf Charity Amateur Tour July 31st at Prairie View for $70. Support great causes like Wounded Warrior Project and V Foundation. CapitalGolf.net.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
John Mugar, if somebody were to ask you, what's the TBT really about, what would you say?
Playing meaningful basketball. It's that simple. We live in an era where individual achievement is prioritized. That flies in the face of stakes. The more that people have individual value, the less there is the team value. So this is all about team-oriented, high-stakes basketball, where winning is all that matters and unselfish play is what matters.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
So last night I got home from hoop and I watched the end of the Reds and the Cubs game. Now, Reds, by the way, making some maneuvers, getting some bullpen help. I don't know. Somebody will have to break it down better than me. It seems like that they're trying to get bullpen help that will not just help them right now, that may be around there for more than a second. I mean, they're not notable names. Michael Givens from the Rockies and then two dudes from the Yankees that were deemed expendable by the Yankees. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't care who it is for that bullpen. If it's anybody, it's an improvement. Because if you watched that last night, David Bell went to Garcia, who has since been placed on assignment. So was Osich, the left-hander. Thank goodness. Hopefully they'll hook up someplace else, but it just wasn't working out within that Reds bullpen, and really nothing did. So the Reds have to put up. That's why when you leave 15 on base in back-to-back games, you are logically not going to win those games. I mean, it's more than just look what you're doing and not scoring, but the Reds have to score with a larger frequency. They need, we all dig a bulge. They need a significant bulge going into those final innings. And I know there have been times when the bullpen had been okay, but for the most part it isn't. And I can't lie, I don't know really what it means. I don't know what it means for Reds fans other than, hey, you're going out and doing something, because you're stuck with that bullpen and it had let you down over and over and over again. And then regardless of the names, and I think Givens from the Rockies is pretty good. He's having a good year. But regardless of the lack of name recognition, the fact that you're going out and doing something makes Reds fans feel good. Now, we'll see what happens when it really cuts to the blank cutting time here, right? And what they end up doing with Castellanos. But I felt pretty good about it today. I did. Hey, JMV, I get what you're saying about your comfort zone, but sometimes new things are good, and it's good. Yeah, you know what? I should get out of my comfort zone. I do the same thing every day. Every day. It is weird. I walk through the same door every day. Did you know this? Did you know that I am working on a 96% rate? You know, our garage elevator, of picking which door opens first. For 11 years, I have picked which door opens first of the two doors, and I've been right 96% of the time. Seriously.
You play that game with yourself every day?
I play that game every day. It's weird, man. It is weird. That's exactly what I do. The same thing every day. I have a comfort zone. I got to tip my cap to those that on a daily basis can't work into that particular comfort zone. I don't know what I would do with myself if I couldn't. It'd drive me nuts. I knew RD would have an opinion on this because Givens is a former Oriole. Givens is pretty good, pitched in Baltimore a few years, throws hard and throws strikes. That works for me. Anything works for me. If RD would have been shipped into Cincinnati just for the sake of addressing what is just, it is the biggest wart, the most obvious canker on my face of the world of YouTube Live Inside the Lounge that is in Major League Baseball right now. That's it. The most obvious thing is, well, you got to do something with this. Even if the odds suggest they're not going to win anything, just get us a little bit of excitement. And it would be all good. And no. I didn't want to see Garrett and Baez meet again. I'm glad Garrett got that final out before we had to go through that, and then walked off the field and didn't jack around. I've said this too. You think because I'm a Reds fan, I dig what Amir Garrett does. I don't. It's a complete pain in my ass. He and Baez are both clowns, and it drives me insane. And believe me, their teammates don't want to mess with that crap either. So I didn't want to see the matchup. Is Baez got a bruised heel? Is he playing tonight? Do we know?
I don't think they've announced
their teammates don't want to mess with that crap. It's a little bit different, I think, from a Cubs standpoint because it was Baez picking up for Garrett yelling at Rizzo. And listen, Garrett's as much as a clown as Baez. Just Baez has more success on the field. Or has had in his career more success on the field. But it's It is an absolute pain. And no doubt. JMV, do not trust Kyle with your passwords. Believe me, I would trust Kyle. Kyle, how old are you?
26.
My man, you're more mature than I am at 26. I mean, he's the most mature 26-year-old ever. Ever. So I could trust him with all that. See, with Tony, I could trust Tony too, but I mean, Tony may have logged on to Tinder with my name or something. By the way, we saw Tony last night too. It was pretty awesome. He came by Sullivan Hardware and Garden to hang out a little bit. JMV, every time you mention your meat, it makes me giggle. Don't stop. Hey, listen, there's a reason why I do it, because Noah, it makes me giggle too. That's another thing you can add to my repertoire would be 12-year-old humor. I know, exactly. How in the world did you find a wife? Good question. Yeah, because we went out. When we first started going out, it was group date. I don't think it took us a year to go out on a date by ourselves. I was group date guy. And she hated it. I mean, she loved my friends, which became her friends, but I think now she wouldn't. But back then, she wanted to go out with us by herself, but I had to have a group date. My group date was always, listen, I got so used to going to McCree's Deli in Bloomington and sitting in those long bench booths, right? That's what we always did. I mean, for the first year we were together, that was every date. The group date at McCree's. And that's what you want in your group, because I could get hammered and then walk out of there, and I get a group date, and I got that protection. Again, that was my comfort level. I never really worked outside of my comfort level. I guess I'm kind of lucky in that standpoint. I mean, I know my limitations, and believe me, they are limited. It's from John Buzzard. I thought it was funny that his bruised heel miraculously recovered for him to try and pinch hit. Now, he pinch hit with a similar bruised heel the night before. I mean, the guy is still going to swing out of his shoes. And then no doubt he's been a good player. And no doubt he's been a much better player than Amir Garrett, but I really don't like either one. And believe me, their teammates don't want to mess with that crap either. Oh, here we go. I did find it funny, this. Everybody was mad at Votto, because Votto is absolutely on fire right now. But everybody's mad at Votto because they believe he is styling and profiling while running around the bases. There are even levels of jackassery that suggest that tonight the Cubs should throw at him. He should wear one because of the so-called styling and profiling he is doing around the bases. It is not even in the ballpark. Again, if you watch the Cubs, do what you want, because that's the era in which you're in. Like, it's not going to get on my nerves. But Contreras hit a home run the other night, and he basically did his own little stage show around the bases. I mean, Wisdom hit one last night, and you thought it would have tied the game up, not just moving them within 4 runs. I mean, everybody does it now. I guess Winker does it. Winker hit a home run. He kind of runs around the bases. But most of these guys do something. I mean, let's just face it. You're mad at Votto because Votto is raking against your squad. I'd be mad too. So he's got to get one in the ribs because that's what he's... Come on. Come on. Let's get the dude out. You know, and for Reds fans, it's good because Reds fans have been all over Votto for the past couple of years. But, man, is he on fire right now. And good for them. 8:05 is that matchup coming up later on tonight at Wrigley Field in Chicago. We do have some afternoon baseball that we can hit. Bottom of 7 in Cleveland, 7-2 Cleveland over St. Louis. Top of the sixth inning, Minnesota trailing Detroit 10-6. I had not noticed how hot Detroit got. Where have they been recently? I like they had won like 7 in a row, and I pay attention to baseball. I had no idea until you told me that the other day. None.
Coming out of the All-Star break, I think they won 7 in a row.
I had no idea. Bottom of 4, Toronto 3, Boston 1. Early on, Houston and Seattle, no score in Seattle. All right, quick break, and we'll return. Sage Karam's going to join us. We talked about that comfort zone and then maybe living a little bit outside of it. He's going to do that in the NASCAR Xfinity Series coming up on the 14th of August. He has got a ride. And what else is funny about Sage Karam, he's somebody that continuously has to prove themselves. I mean, there is never a level in which you can let up. You are constantly, every time you get behind the wheel, you're proving to somebody that you belong. Now, for some, that'd be good. For some, that is the constant reminder you know where you came from and you know what you have to do to stay there. But that would have to also have a level of pain for you. Have to drive you nuts a little bit. Sage joins us in the 4 o'clock hour, Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. Colts camp day number 1 today. We'll get all the updates that you need, including Braden Smith getting paid. Braden Smith getting paid. I know everybody thought my idea of left guard to left tackle was crazy. Listen, as long as you have the best offensive line in the NFL, that's great. But it has to play that way because it's going to get paid that way. It will be paid that way, so you have to now play that way. That comes with an even more profound level of expectations. Like, well, if you're in the top 10 or the top 8, that'd be great. No, they're getting paid to the level where you have to be a dominant group. And believe me, I have not even added Eric Fisher, which they hope can be added to the list at some point. I mean, you have to be the most talked about group outside of what you're getting paid in the NFL. There's going to be no way around it. As much as you talk about, Chris Ballard, he's ballyhooed so much about what he does with a roster, and the depth he has created. And all that is great. But now you're looking for results, and you're looking for a higher level results. Well, with this offensive line, you're going to be, with the way they're paid for the future, looking for the highest level of results. That is where that bar is going to be. Back with you next.
Summer is here, so kids, tell your parents about the Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
With our rates at a low 2.25%, refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. Get started today at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
BetMGM welcomes you to Showtime with a risk-free first bet up to $600. Simply sign up and use bonus code MGM600 and you're on your way to betting with the king of sportsbooks. Plus, with BetMGM's new one-game parlay feature, you can choose from hundreds of bet types and combinations within a single game to build a perfect parlay. All the action on all your favorite sports will be at your fingertips when you download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code MGM600 to make your first bet risk-free up to $600. Bet with confidence and turn game day into payday at BetMGM. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older to wager. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's your friend John here for Big Red Liquors. You got the 58 locations throughout central Indiana, and the month of July could be yours because you'll love it. With the hot deals, the cold beer, and the giveaways, giving away 3 big green eggs. The state-of-the-art Medicus Smokerus. that you will love. I got one. Our friend Mike Wells has one. Maybe you have one. Maybe you need one. Maybe you win one. They're giving away 3. All you got to do is stop by one of their locations. Sign up today. No purchase necessary, but you do have to be 21 years of age. A big green egg for you could be had. 3 they're giving away in the month of July at Big Red Liquors. 58 locations in central Indiana. There's going to be one near you. Online, go ahead and log in, bigredliquors.com today.
Kurt Cavan here from Trackside. Over the years, you trusted me with your sports talk. Now let's talk real estate. I've been in business with Ralph Thorpe and Thorpe Real Estate since my days at the newspaper. And since we're a family-owned company, we can provide better personal service and keep more of your money in your pocket as you buy and sell your home. Give us a call at 317-622-8350. That's 622-8350. At Thorpe Real Estate, we can talk sports while saving you money.
This year, a new tradition will be born at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. NASCAR and IndyCar take on the road course over Brickyard Weekend. Tensions will run high and paint will fly as drivers like Elio, Logano, Jimmy, Bubba, Newgarden, Elliott, and more battle it out to be crowned rulers of the road. Don't miss the Midsummer Mayhem at the racing capital of the world. It's where history will be made and where racing never stops. August 13th through the 15th. Tickets at ims.com.
You need a work schedule that fits your life, and Amazon has shifts that help you make the best use of your time. Whether you're a night owl, early bird, weekend warrior, or somewhere in between, discover the benefits of thinking outside the 9 to 5. You decide whether to seize the day or the night so you can get back to what matters most. Go to amazon.com/shifts to learn more. That's amazon.com/SHIFTS. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. It is back. If you want the best game day experience possible, this is it. It's all you can eat. It is all you can drink. You have music and you have everything you need right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium to get you fired up for a football Sunday. It's BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Log on now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like B&W Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Tire Discounters, where you can skip the shop. Tire Discounters now picks up your vehicle from your home or workplace and delivers it back to you.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Listen on air, online at 1075thefan.com, and on our free app at Google Play and on the App Store. The Ride with JMV.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
R.I.P. Dusty Hill of the little band from Texas, the trio of ZZ Top, has passed away earlier today. That stinks. I believe ZZ Top is a band that I have never seen. It's amazing. You guys ever think about the bands you haven't seen, the bands that you love, the music that you love, and then think about the ones you haven't seen? That's why I'm down with trying to go to shows that, maybe you don't have a great deal of interest in, but you just don't know how much longer folks are going to be around. Dusty Hill was one of the great bass players of his time, or maybe even all time, right there. ZZ Top for me, there's one thing, you got ZZ Top and Tush and, LaGrange. They got going in the 70s, but when they hit in the 80s with Eliminator, with the car and the 3 chicks and the videos, you talk about a group, a little group, as they say, from Texas that took full advantage of the MTV era. There you go. Most notably, those that are in the new wave of the 80s stature, right? Those bands, they were the ones that always got the credit for taking most advantage of the MTV era, because you finally got to see what you're listening to. And nobody did that. at a higher level than ZZ Top. I mean, nobody. And good on them. Because that was a huge difference maker. I mean, it's one thing to have the music. I mean, Sharp Dressed Man was good. Give Me All Your Lovin', Legs. But when you saw the video, the songs were better just by virtue of that. I mean, the three chicks walking around synonymous with the songs. It just made the songs better. And nobody took advantage of that, along with their great level of talent, than ZZ Top. JMV, they were scheduled to be here in Kentucky next month. So from Daniel, JMV, what a surprise twist here for the Reds. They're buyers. And they are. I don't know if they're, how should I put this? I don't want this to be a backhanded compliment because I'm glad they're going out and trying to get some help here. Because the bullpen, I mean, if you're a Reds fan, you just kind of sit around and wait. And it's not fun. Like last night when Garcia got in, that wasn't fun. I mean, Garcia was lucky he got an out. I mean, he got a strikeout of a ball that was, I think it was Contreras. Maybe it was somebody, I can't remember. No, Contreras struck out swinging. But I think he got a little help on one that was way, way outside the zone, or at least outside the box. But yeah, I'm not going to poo-poo anything they do this time of year, especially when it is in the name of trying to win. I am all good with it. So 3 relievers picked up by the Reds in the last 12 to 15 hours. And believe me, if you watch that bullpen, it is an absolute brutality. So I'm taking anything and running with it at this point. J. Michael of the Star, this is something we'll get into a little bit more with you and Kevin Bowen later on in the show. J. Michael of the Star, who I think is going to join us tomorrow, correct? That's the thought. He suggests if the Pacers keep 13, he's being told it's going to come down to, are you ready? Anybody want to guess? Duarte, who's basically the same age as Lonzo Ball, right? Duarte? Was he 24? 23.
Duarte's 24.
Duarte's 24 from Oregon. And Corey Kispert of Gonzaga, provided they are on the board. J. Michael continues, by the way, if you're considering both, I'd lean Duarte. That's based on not just a workout when they went head-to-head. Pacers want shooters who can dribble, create, etc., not just shoot. So J. Michael suggests if the Pacers stay at 13, it is a toss-up, if available, between Duarte or Kispert. We'll get into that coming up on the other side. You guys got some calls we can get into. We're also going to celebrate Live Nation Day. We got a giveaway for you I'll talk about coming up next as well. Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. Sage Karam coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Back with you next.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan, your home for Indy sports. Stay connected to all things Colts as Kevin Bowen takes you inside training camp. Our boys in blue have reloaded and are looking forward to a big season. Read about camp every day at 1075thefan.com and listen for live shows and updates every day.
Keep up to date on air, online at 1075thefan.com.
At Google Play and on the App Store.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, John here for Love Heating and Air. It's John and Chris Love, making sure you maintain the highest level of comfort in your home at 317-353-2141. You have to have somebody doing HVAC to have your back. And John and Chris Love and Love Heating and Air, they do just that. So if you're thinking maybe, and you could tell right now because it's been so hot and humid, maybe it's not as comfortable as it should be in your home, get it checked out. Have them give it the once over at 317-353-2141 to make sure it's not using up the money that you're paying while keeping you uncomfortable. And listen, if you need something Need something better? Need a new system? Great prices. And again, the craftsmanship is going to be unmatched at 317-353-2141. It's Love Heating and Air online, love-hvac.com today.
Dear driver, thank you. Thank you for slowing down when you saw the orange cones and road construction signs. My husband is one of those road workers. And today, you saved his life. If you hadn't slowed down, you would have missed that lane change, driven right into the work zone, and you would have killed him. Because you were driving differently. He'll be at our son's Little League game this weekend. He'll be there to walk our daughter down the aisle. He'll be out there tomorrow, making Indiana's roads safer. Thank you.
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Joe Bulk, business manager of Labor's Local 204. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, open your eyes, pay attention.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. And with our mortgage rates at a low 2.25%, you can save hundreds each month and skip your next two payments. And remember, our local lending experts speak mortgage and love translating for our customers. Removing risk from your next purchase or refi means you can find your thrills elsewhere.
Skydiving? No. Cliff jumping? Wait, hang gliding.
Aren't you afraid of heights?
Stop, you're embarrassing me.
Get started today with our simple zipline tool at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, it's JMV, and not only are my friends Joe, John, and Dennis of Connecticut, the proud official hydration of the Backyard broadcast with me, they also have this deal going on for you for the best water possible right now. You guys ready? For a limited time, you can upgrade your older model Connecticut water softener and receive $1,000 toward the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series water softener or $600 off a Connecticut Signature Series water softener, even if you have another brand water softener. Trade it in, and Connecticut will give you these same discounts up to $1,000 off. Here's what I want you to do, though. To get this deal, to make it happen, to get the best water possible, make sure that they know who sent you. Say, hey, I heard this from JMV. And then have the best water with the best deals going on right now with Connecticut, Northeast Side, Castleton, South Side, US 31 and Southport Road at that location. Via the app, Connecticut Water. Download, let your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Brad Paisley, Tour 2021.
Just another American Saturday night.
This Saturday, Ruoff Music Center. With special guests, Jimmy Allen and Cameron Marlowe. Country music superstar Brad Paisley Live. Reserve seat tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series. 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Coming up on Thursday's Fan Morning Show, Braden Smith got paid. Is Darius Leonard next? Plus, what will the Pacers do in the NBA draft? We'll talk to Scott Agnes, and we start at 7.
The Ride with JMV.
I want you out in front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
This is from Afterburner, ZZ Top. Stages, R.I.P. Dusty Hill of ZZ Top. That little band from Texas, everybody. Hey, to celebrate live music being back, Live Nation is offering $20 all tickets to your favorite concerts this summer. July the 28th through August the 1st. That's livenation.com. Now, right here at the Fan, we're participating in the fun by having the Live Nation Day. It is today, where you can listen all day or sign up online for your chance to win a pair of tickets to 13 shows this summer. You guys ready? The Black Crows, by the way, I talked to both Rich and Chris Robinson about 2 weeks ago. Awesome conversation, 1075thefan.com. But the Black Crows coming to Ruoff, 3 doors down at the lawn at White River, which is just fantastic, all new and fantastic. Our friends at Yacht Rock Review coming up on the 14th of August on the lawn. Hall and Oates. I think I missed my opportunity with Oates today. I couldn't make it in for Oates, so I'm going to try to get Oates next week. Hall and Oates at Ruoff the 19th of August. Kings of Leon at Ruoff the 22nd of August. Zach Brown Band also at Ruoff the 27th of the month of August. All right, back-to-back shows. Actually, not back-to-back, but 10 days apart. 311 at White River the 7th of September. Rob Zombies at White River the 17th of September. And then Sublime with Rome on the 28th of that month. All 3 of those shows at White River, as well as Alice Cooper the 29th of September at White River. Slipknot at Ruoff the 1st of October. Florida Georgia Line the 2nd of October at Ruoff. And Leonard Skinnard the 8th of October at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. So you got your chance to win all those with us. And we'll celebrate with you Live Nation Day. And you know how much I love our friends at Live Nation. More than you know. That is your chance. And we'll do that. You can do that with us coming up a little bit later on, too. I mentioned Sage Karam's going to join us coming up here in just a little bit. Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. I saw the mock draft that was put out there. This is the Jason McIntyre. Who's he with now? Does he still do? Who is that? The guy used to, what website was he with?
I think he does the morning show for Fox. A little.
Oh, okay.
Not your cup of tea type of stuff.
That is not my cup of tea. Does he have the answers to everything? Is he like didn't they have a former host that has the answers to everything? The former host, I think, believes that he saves sports. What kind of jackass do you have to be to suggest that? Seriously. I should just come down and sit down one day. Hey, I save sports around here. Hey. Can you imagine? I would expect you to beat my ass if I said that. Seriously. There are certain expectations we have in this world. I would expect that. I'm telling you. There is such a difference, and I would invite you to do it. There is such a huge difference, a gap between those that you know are telling you the truth passionately and compassionately, and those that are just doing it for the show. Those are just doing it for the reaction. Those are just doing it because they're lazy. There's a canyon gap. I'd invite you to try to figure it out. Hey, listen, I may be wrong, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And the greatest part about that is it's like you guys know it. I don't have to tell you that. Not about the brand. Can you imagine if I thought I had a brand? Classic. So, yeah, that probably would not be my cup of tea. I would not doubt that whatsoever. But I will say this, Jeremy Bullard that sent me this. Davion Mitchell at 13, I'd be down with. I don't know if I'm down with these other programs. I mentioned, J. Michael mentioned that as of right now, his belief is if the Pacers draft at 13 and the availability is there, it's going to be Duarte from Oregon or Kispert from Gonzaga. So we shall see. All right, Sage Karam in just a bit. Bill's at 239-1070 right now. Billy, it was great to see you yesterday. Thanks for coming out.
Hey, man, that was really quite a time. I got to admit, the first thing I did when I got home was I went out to my shed, got the grill that I've had for 15 years, and threw it in the trash, man. I'm going green. I'm going green egg.
Yeah,
I mean, how can you not be a green egg believer after yesterday? And by the way,
you can talk about my meat, and I'm not going to be offended. Go ahead. Just go ahead and say it.
No, your meat was actually better at 5 o'clock than it was at 3, and it was pretty damn good at 3.
My meat was spectacular all day long, Billy, is what you're trying to tell me right now. I thank you.
I'm just gonna keep silent. But I gotta give a shout out to Wells too, because he used a lot of venison flavored seasoning on his, and that was quite good too. I mean, if you guys ever do this again and the house isn't packed, then there must be a bunch of vegetarians on the north side. Because
I have never smoked venison. You can smoke venison too, I guess, right? If you wanted to. You brought up venison, kind of interests me a little bit there. You can smoke venison? Yeah, I believe.
I think you can. Yeah. I think you can, but I've never been around anybody that really knew how to prepare it. So if you get a bad cut of venison and it's not cooked the right way, it's a long chew.
Billy, my issue on this is, and the big green egg is great. I am so impatient on stuff, and I mean that's hard. Brisket is hard, man. I mean hard. So.
And those guys, shout out to those guys because they really they were on top. They were on top of everything.
Yeah.
And so it was good. So I thought talking about that, and I wanted to get your opinion on Indiana Pacer Kellen Martin. Do you think he's got a future with the team? Are they going to keep him? And is he somebody that can defend the perimeter?
Man, I like him a great deal. And he was, when he played, he was at times more one of the more enjoyable assets that they had. I would just think the way that Rick Carlisle is going to put this thing together, he probably would make it. That's my guess. The way that Carlisle's wanting to put this together, I would guess. But he did show me a lot. There's certainly somewhere in the NBA's room for him. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and if they heat up these trade talks and everything with the Celtics and Jason Tatum's name is involved and everything, then pay special attention to the Olympics because he isn't doing anything. I mean, he was on the floor at the end during the game against France and everything, and he hasn't done a thing. So whatever trades the trade talk they're talking about that involves him, I wouldn't touch him at all.
Yeah, it's been problematic with him, and it's not going to be any deal for Tatum. I mean, if you're talking about the Celtics, I mean, you kind of look into it, and I mean, you're probably thinking about Marcus Smart, and then I think it was Marcus Smart and Carson Edwards and Romeo Langford that had the Celtics with a deal with Miles Turner. And I like Marcus Smart probably more than anybody else does, and certainly he would help perimeter defensively. But you're giving away Miles. I think, to me, you'd have to have just a little bit more than that, even if people down here are not so much on the same page as far as Miles and his production is concerned. But that's just me. I do like Marcus Smart. I will tell you that.
Yeah, he'd be a good addition.
Or I have.
Sure would miss Miles and his shot blocking abilities and everything. That I think we're definitely going to miss that. And I'm going to get off and listen to the rest of the callers and everything. But I wanted to give a shout out and everything. Simone Biles, you get some rest and get right and everything. You're a great American, and everybody's behind you. And if you're not behind you, if anybody's not behind her on this issue and everything, then I don't know what to say to you.
Bill, thank you for the call. JMV, try some elk. There's actually an elk farm near where I grew up down in GC. And I have tried elk before, and it was very chewy. And I don't know if that was operator error or just elk meat in general. But it was very chewy. I didn't really dig the very chewy part of it. Anybody else have issues with elk? No doubt. Griff writes this inside the lounge via YouTube Live. The Pacers seem to like the IU connections of late. Would be very on brand with Gordon. And I've talked about this before. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, I'm not on board, and I know a lot of you are. I'm not on board with Brogdon for Lonzo Ball. I'm not on board for whatever Gordon would bring here and whatever would happen. I'm just not. I like him. But those are two rumors that we have seen that I'm more of a fan. I'd be more of a fan, and it makes no sense, and I had to talk myself into it. I'd have been more the fan of what they turned down in Kuzma, I think, than I would be those other two. Call me crazy. But I would be. Yeah, Larry Brown inside the lounge says, I could see Miles going to the Hornets or the Warriors in a trade. The Hornets, in fact, have been trying to track him down for 2 years. So that would not surprise me. And I think for him, as a guy that likes him a great deal, I'd be down with him going to Golden State. I think that'd be great. Joan in Arizona says that Bub's Burgers, they have elk at Bub's. Is anybody with me on this? It seems like elk is fatty or chewy. And I have not liked it in the past. It's not like I would be against doing it again, but the first time I didn't really like it. All right, Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. Braden Smith gets paid today. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the offensive line, that when it's said and done, when they add a longer-term deal with Quentin Nelson and pay him, and then we'll see what happens at left tackle, presumably here with Eric Fisher. You're going to be the most expensive offensive line in the history of the NFL, and you are going to have to play like it. That and more from day number 1 up at Grand Park in Westfield with Kev in the 5 o'clock hour. Meantime, via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now, I mentioned stepping outside of your comfort zone. And an IndyCar driver is doing that coming up next month in the Xfinity Series out on the road course at IMS. Sage Karam's going to be behind the wheel in the Xfinity Series, and Sage kind enough to join us now. Sage, thank you for the time. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a busy week, to say the least, and busy for the right reasons, obviously. Making my NASCAR Xfinity debut with Jordan Anderson Racing, Montage Mountain Resort Chevrolet Camaro, going to be a lot of fun.
I'll start here, then I want to get into where you currently view yourself. I mean, there's no doubt you're an incredibly elite level driver, and we've seen that here in open wheel. But how did this opportunity to partner up in this Xfinity Series ride out at IMS, how did that occur?
I think it all started with just having a strong month of May for me. I qualified 31st, ended up 7th this May, and it was a really awesome effort from, the whole team at John Reinbold Racing. So I think that kind of put me back in the radar of some other things in racing. And, I went to go watch my buddy Marco Andretti race an SRX race at Slinger, and he won that race. And I just saw how much fun he was having driving, stock cars, and how much fun I had watching it. It just kind of made me, want to maybe look into the possibility of going to drive some more things. I don't have any other IndyCar races on the schedule, so I just kind of wanted to try other things and, make my portfolio more diverse, I guess you could say. And
yeah.
And who knows, just, maybe I really like it and can do more racing in it, and we'll see how that goes. But, the opportunity came about, and I wanted to go down that road, and a lot of people kept, kept giving me the name Jordan Anderson. So got in touch with Jordan Anderson's team, and, it took, only a couple weeks to get a deal done to come back to the Speedway and going to be racing on the road course. I'm really stoked and pumped up for it.
Sage Karam joins us. This is what I love of what you said. You wanted to help increase your resume, if you will, or your portfolio, as you put it. That's exactly right. I mean, listen, we know that you can drive anything that has wheels on it, probably stuff without wheels, too, you can drive. But there comes a point in time where we can all sit around and talk about it, but you really want to show that you can perform at that level. And I'm going to tell you what, it takes a lot. I mean, it takes a lot. As you mentioned, you got to develop that relationship, in this case with Jordan Anderson, that gets you in that seat. And then it's up to you to perform, because you want them to ask you again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like for the last however many years, every time I've gotten into a car has been like, like a proving ground area. And I've always got to prove myself. And that's exactly what this situation is. Is it as high pressured as the Indy 500? Probably not. Just because I put so many years into Indy, and that was my only IndyCar race. And if it went wrong, I couldn't really do it again until a year later. So, I think the pressure I'll put on myself will be probably the most pressure I'll have this coming race. And, I think for everyone else, I don't really know what the expectation is. They think that I'm going to have, but I go into every race wanting to do well, wanting to prove that, I can drive the wheels off anything. And like I said, just kind of building the portfolio. As I think as a driver, the more stuff you drive, the more tracks you get to drive, you just become more diverse and just a better overall driver.
He is Sage Karam joining us. You also mentioned this too. It feels like every time you get behind the wheel of something, you're constantly trying to prove yourself. Does that get tired? Because to me, and following this as I do and we do here in Indy, I mean, you've proven that. But does that aspect of what you just described, does that ever kind of wear you out a little bit?
It does. It can be draining because it is a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. But I think I also like pressured situations, so I don't mind going out there trying to prove what I can do, because I've been doing it now for so many years of just trying to, every race I get, just do more than what I was expected to do. So it's just become a pretty normal thing at this point. But, this is something completely new for me, a new challenge, a new car that, I'm going to be a complete rookie at. So I don't know what the expectation is. I don't know what I would consider like a successful race versus a non-successful race. I think a non-successful race would be obviously like not finishing because I crashed, but I don't know like what I would be totally happy with or what, but I just want to go out there, have fun, and just drive, and just learn. And it's going to be such a big learning curve for me that I think I'm just going to literally just be out there driving and having fun. And I feel like a lot of the stress will be lifted off that I'm usually have because it is something completely new for me. But nonetheless, still going to put some pressure on myself, that's for sure.
Yeah, Sage Karam is with us again. That's coming up on August the 14th, that race. It is the Xfinity Series, NASCAR Xfinity Series at IMS on the road course. And you said that you had conversations with Marco about this. You'd watch Marco. And we've heard about this before, and this always kind of sticks with me, Sage. I remember when Dario made that transition from just the highest level of IndyCar and winning 500s and things, and then made that transition to what is the Xfinity Series. He said basically it's like going from driving an Indy car to a school bus in a race, and it takes a while to get used to. How much input have you received? Who have you talked to about, I know you have the expectation now because you've been behind the wheel, I'm sure, but who are you leaning on for a little bit of advice? Because this still, at the very least, is brand new to you, even if you've been kind of putting in the work leading up to this race.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in the car at all, other than I just sat in it and
that's
just kind of get familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So the only thing I'll have is a 50-minute practice session before qualifying. So I have a short amount of time to figure it out. But
yeah.
But hey, we're race car drivers. We do crazy things, and that's we're up for that challenge. But no, I have talked to a couple people, and probably the one I talked to the most was Jimmy Johnson. I figured he would be a great person to call with all his stock car experience, and now with him driving the current Indy car that I'm familiar with, like what are the massive differences and things to look for, things to not do, just stuff like that. And he gave me some great tips, and, I would probably be asking him like really little questions to him, but, to me, they're big questions because it's just I have no idea about certain things. So he was a big help. He took, all the time that, he didn't rush me to get off the phone or anything. As much time as I needed, he was there. And, he's been really helpful with if I need any other questions answered, like he's there willing to help. So I can't thank him enough for giving me some general pointers and some things that I wouldn't even have thought about. So he's been a big help.
Sage Karam is with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Have you been a fan of the Xfinity Series? I'll say this. I love you guys, obviously, in IndyCar, and we watch the races in IndyCar, the Indy 500 and all that, but I do find myself kind of attracted a little bit. I don't know if it's the timing, especially when they're on a Friday night, but I kind of dig the Truck Series races. I've been watching that. I watch a little bit of the Xfinity Series. Have you in the past?
I have. I do watch the Truck Series. I do watch the Xfinity Series, but like most of those races that I do watch are like the more special events. Like they're big races, whether it's like the super speedways or the road course races. Because I've always said I wanted to try a road course race. Like I always remember watching the trucks race at Mosport, and that being like one of my favorite tracks in the world. I always said I wanted to go race that. So, I would always make sure to watch, the stock car races on the road courses because it was something I was interested in and definitely wanting to try for my career. I just never knew how to go about it. And, when this opportunity came up, it was it was really, really cool for me because I've been thinking about wanting to do it for so long. So to actually be in the position now that, I'm going to make my debut is something cool.
Boy, it is too. All right, what's going through your mind? You say you've just kind of sat in the car so far. You haven't actually got an opportunity to turn any laps. What right now in anticipation, because this date's coming up, August the 14th, pretty quickly here. What's going through your mind most often as far as in preparation, at least mentally, for this race?
I think what goes through my mind about driving the car is the shifting and the braking. I think is going to be like the biggest things for me to learn. I haven't drove an H pattern in 11 years. So that in itself is going to be something completely different. In the Indy cars, we have paddle shifts and, computers to match the revs to every shift. So you don't have to worry about that. Well, in these cars, it's H pattern. Then you got to manually blip it to get the RPMs to the right, RPM level to, not lock up the rear tires and stuff like that. So there is more stuff that I got to do. I've done it when I was coming up through the ranks as a kid, but I just haven't done it in so long. And, braking, obviously, this car is a lot heavier than an Indy car is. So I'm used to braking super late and getting downshifts done super aggressively. Whereas in this one, it's just everything's more slowed down. It's instead of braking at the 200 or the 300 marker, it's like you start braking when you can see the signs, and then your downshifts are just really slow and just it's a bit more lazy, and in the middle of the corners the cars have more roll, whereas like a Indy car or sports car is a bit more stiff and stable there. So it's just going to be feelings that I've never felt before, and I think that's going to be another hard thing to know is I don't know what a good car is supposed to feel like compared to a bad car. So I might be feeling things that are totally good, but they might feel totally bad to me.
Right.
And I might not know at the time, like, hey, this is good or bad. So my whole thing is just going to be trying to relay as much information as accurately as possible. And then hopefully just, me and the engineers can go to work and make all the necessary right changes.
Honestly, though, Sage Karam joins us. Before I let you go, this has to be incredibly exciting because I bet with what you do, I mean, you're so focused, you probably just get used to stuff and it's second nature. And this is probably preying on your nerves just a little bit. This is probably a really good feeling that maybe you only get, as a part of the 500 in preparation for the 500. It's got to, as a competitor, got to make you feel really, really cool feeling inside of you leading up to this.
Yeah, it is. My two races this year are both at Indy and one on the oval, one on the road course. So it's always special to come to Indy. Whatever car you're driving or whatever configuration track you're driving, it's always just special to do well. So doing well there in May, I think, is like set a nice happy energy I have with the Speedway right now. So when I roll in there in a couple weeks, I'm going to be feeling good. And, hopefully we can just, keep that going when we leave there.
All right. The number 31 Chevrolet Camaro, August the 14th. It's on NBC SN, and it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And Sage Karam, as a first-timer, is going to be wheeling around the Indy road course. In closing here, did you have to keep this quiet for a while? Had the wheels been in motion on putting you behind the wheel for a little bit, and you had to kind of keep it on the down low?
They've been in motion, but, I think it was only like really official maybe 5 or 6 days before we actually announced it. So I didn't have to wait that long, to get it out. But, it was a lot of hard work from a lot of people, and I just got to thank everybody who put it together, Montage Mountain Resorts, Jordan Anderson Racing, Scott White Career Institute, ISMI, Richmar Flores, Shelby Park Marketing, and, Chevrolet. I've been a Chevy driver for 8 years now. It's just incredible that, they keep bringing me back and I get to do this now in stock car for them. I've done it so long in IndyCar for them. So this is just really cool and just can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Hey, our mutual friend, Jake Query, is a good fan of yours, too. Big fan. So we can't wait to watch you go out there and get that bad boy done, man. Just soak it up and enjoy it and go out and get you some on the 14th of August, all right?
Yep, we're going to get it done.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. Go get them, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
It's Sage Karam right there. He's going to be in the Xfinity Series race, August the 14th. That is out at IMS on the road course, and that is a really cool story. It gives you a great deal of local rooting interest right there, especially you IndyCar fans. All right, quick break at 239-1070. We've got stuff to give away and a lot more for you coming up. Sit tight.
Every play is a play to bet on. Whether it's who scores next, a three-pointer, or a free throw, it could be the play that matters to you. So bet live at Unibet Sportsbook. Live betting options for every moment of the game. Sign up now to get $500 risk-free. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's JMV from my man Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. MarkDietel.com. Mark, DIETEL.com. Let's talk about information, right? I'll give you a great example of that. Mark Dietel is great at what he does, and I'm getting that information out there. In fact, Mark will get multiple offers in 3 days, or he's going to sell it for free for you. So Colby and Ashley, that's down in Center Grove, needed a little bit more space, wanted to move even closer to family. They heard this spot with me right here, went to Mark Dietel, and what happened? Mark got the job done for them. That's who you can count on, my friend Mark Dietel at Mark Dietel Realty today, 317-755-4232. 317-755-4232. Mark Dietel Realty. MarkDietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com today.
Reunited. The Black Crowes present Shake Your Moneymaker. Played in its entirety. Plus all the hits. This Sunday night at Ruoff Music Center. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Shake Your Moneymaker. Reserve seats on sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hey, it's JMV here for Forum Credit Union. So the kids are going back to school, right? Parents, you can help out and make that transition smooth by making sure students have their Forum Credit Union student checking account open and ready to go for saving, spending, sharing, so much more for you, too. Forum's student checking account is perfect for high school and college students and gives mobile access, account alerts, and easy ways to pay whether your student is studying at home, across the country, or even abroad. Kevin and the gang at a branch location of Forum Credit Union today. And for more info on your student's checking account, get it started today. That's forumcu.com.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
At Bank of America, we believe in the power of action. That's why we've expanded our efforts to advance racial equality and economic opportunity with an additional $1.25 billion to drive impact.
I'm Andy Krask, President of Bank of America Indianapolis. My teammates and I are proud of our ongoing partnership with Employ Indy. Together, we're connecting more people to new skills and better jobs. What would you like the power to do?
Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
We're celebrating the Hoosier spirit at your Indiana State Fair. We've got new tastes, new sounds, new rides, new attractions, and are excited to create new smiles of summer.
Your Indiana State Fair returns this Friday through August 22nd. Closed Mondays and Tuesdays weekly. Save up to 35% with advanced discount tickets available at IndianaStateFair.com. Available only through tomorrow night.
Join us July 30th through August 22nd for 18 splendidly spirited days at your great Indiana State Fair.
Hey, John, for LD Smith Plumbing, give this number a look and then make sure that you keep it handy, just in case something goes wrong. 317-284-9526. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. They can do everything that is necessary. You maybe want an upgrade, maybe a change of pace with your plumbing like I did. Had a garbage disposal installation plan, got that done. awesome. I also had an emergency. Sunday morning, February, no water. They got out there and got it done. Lance and his team, the folks you can trust. It's LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. They are the best. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today. It's the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Make your game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your tickets now. It's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
This is Chris Ambrose with B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Visit us at bigbblacktrucks.com for your free second opinion on your HVAC system.
B&W, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The Ride with JMV.
And you can tell Rolling Stone magazine that my last words were, I'm on drugs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Sage Karam was really good. That podcast will be up there for you, 1075thefan.com. Bowen's going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. I mentioned today, Live Nation Day giveaway is what we're doing. We are participating. You can listen all day. Sign up online for your chance to win a pair of tickets to 13 shows. And I documented the 13 shows that you could attend, and there are some good ones right there. I neglected to mention, I believe the Hall & Oates show has Squeeze, and I've got to add Squeeze to my resume. I believe that has Squeeze, and I have yet to see Squeeze, and I gotta. So add that to the resume. Braden Smith, he got paid today, a new deal at right tackle, which is amazing because initially he was moved from right guard to right tackle, and it worked out. And up next, Darius Leonard. By all accounts, did he tweet about it today?
You tell he's a little antsy for it. He tweeted out the hourglass.
The
time is ticking.
hourglass. Got to get paid with the hourglass. Anyway, and then you'll find out about Quentin Nelson and ultimately Eric Fisher, see how he does once he is returning. Yeah, I retweeted this with, let me give that a big blanking no. And I have no idea who this guy is. Of course, tomorrow's the NBA draft. And if you heard a little bit earlier, I talked about J. Michael tweeted out. He's going to join us tomorrow. He tweeted out as of right now the hard targets, 2 of them, if they're available at number 13 for the Pacers. And if the Pacers select at number 13 would be Duarte from Oregon, Kispert from Gonzaga. So I don't know how many fans of those 2 selections there might be out there, but I don't know who this is. Brett Siegel? Have you ever heard of this guy? NBA insider, writer, analyst. He's got a variety of tagged organizations down there. Anyway, he writes this within the last 35 minutes. There are some rumblings about a 3-team deal between the Rockets, Pacers, and the Hornets that would involve Miles Turner, Eric Gordon, and a handful of draft picks in tomorrow night's draft. But there is no official deal in place as of now. Okay. Come on now. Come on. There's also rumors that Houston's trying to get up to number 1, trying to make a deal with Detroit, which would be Cade Cunningham, right? No. I don't know. I normally don't come in here and sit down with an attitude that is, how should I put it, pissy in nature. I might on Friday. Actually, I won't be here to be at the Backyard Bourbon broadcast number 2. So I guess I could maybe drink my way during the show out of pissiness. But that might give me that feeling. Obviously those are rumored details and really not too many details in general. But, yeah, I think on the surface, at least for that, kind of sucks, and I don't like it. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. Pissy, exactly. See, that's a good thing about the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. I can start the show I start at 3 o'clock with you guys, but I'll start the show a little bit earlier and have a couple of larceny bourbons and try to get myself out of that pissiness. Terry Holt writes this: Bub's Burgers has elk burger. Outstanding. Thank you, Terry. Terry Holt, which sounds a lot like Terre Haute, which is pretty awesome. Terry Holt. There's no way that Terry Holt, having this name, went through life around here without being called Terre Haute all the time. No way. Hey, JMV, how about taking the meat show on the road? There are plenty of meat eaters and beer drinkers on the south side. Well, it's because we do this at Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 71st and Keystone. I do owe you guys a south side venture at some point. There's no doubt about that. I just don't know when that's going to be. Like, I'll be on the south side on Friday, but we're going to the home of Lynn Gray, who is a partner in a law firm, and I haven't asked Lynn if she wanted me to shout out to everybody to join us. So I gotta get the homeowner's approval, but that is coming up on Friday, by the way. Hey, JMV, if the Pacers' big move is Eric Gordon, wouldn't that take the wind out of all the Pacer fans' sails, so to speak? I would have to assume it just, like, I got nothing against Eric at all, other than, to me, unless you're going to have a little bit more of a dramatic change, I wouldn't get it. I would not get it. Like, I don't know how that would help this situation. You know, I've mentioned even some of the stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like the Boston stuff doesn't make any sense to me. But, I mean, even with that, like Marcus Smart, just for his defensive presence alone, would at least a tiny bit make sense. But that doesn't. That does not at all. The Golden State thing makes sense. That doesn't. Indy Drew chimes in, so I'm not even one of the bigger Miles fans, but I do believe he's worth his contract and place on this team for his defense alone. Hey, there's no doubt about it. Indy Drew right now, you look at this team defensively, he's absolutely worth that. And if you don't have a not-so-dramatic change on the perimeter, either you're more motivated to do it when maybe you weren't a year ago, or you bring in somebody or people that can, you tell me how you're not going to get a similar result. So Rick Carlisle is going to come in and wave this magic wand, and oh yeah, all of a sudden you guys can play strong perimeter D. Yeah, I'm not going to buy that. Jeremy Bullard says, do a show from the Crowbar in Trafalgar. I don't know exactly what you're talking about down there in Ragglefart, Jeremy. And I do, Glenn, I do go to that place at least once a year. Because normally I get pulled over on my way home, if you guys know that. Because I'll have a light out. I love getting pulled over. I am the slowest habitual speed offender ever. Like, the only time I ever get speeding tickets, I'm going like 40 and a 35. The slowest habitual speed offender ever. And notoriously, I get pulled over literally a mile from my home. I don't know why that is. That goes all the way back. I think that's because back in the day we had motorcycles, we had off-road. I grew up in an era where we all had, in a place where we all had off-road motorcycles. Did you have an off-road motorcycle?
No.
I had plenty. We had plenty of room to run. But ultimately, where there's a road and where there's a kid, and especially like me, a really dumb kid, you're going to ride those roads before you have a license. And again, I'm not patting myself on the back, nor my friends, but we ran from the police all the time on our motorcycles. I mean, for the time I was 11 and 12, it was like a big deal. Because, I mean, Dukes of Hazzard are on, and we're like Bo and Luke on motorcycles. And it's too bad because the law enforcement were nice dudes and everything, but I know that we viewed them as Roscoe P. Coltrane. He did that all the time. There was such a level of jackassery. There's no way in the world that in this era that I would have survived. I'd have been in the hoosegow. None, zero. But yeah, we had off-road motorcycles, and we were everywhere. Like I knew even before I had a license how to get to Bloomington off-road, how to get to Bedford off-road, how to get to Bloomfield off-road, and then sometimes on-road. JMV, this is from Vic Barks. Joey Votto was in the mid-$190s back in May. Consummate pro hitter I'd pay to see at bat. Raised his batting average 75 points since May. Joey Votto is on fire right now. And I made this point a little bit earlier. I laugh. I did. I laughed at those that suggest that he is styling and profiling last night going around the bases and that he deserves to be hit by a pitch tonight. Styling and nobody styles him. You watch, if the Cubs hit a home run, it's like it's a stage show going around the bases. Wilson Contreras the other night, it took him like an hour to get around the bases. I mean, with my prostate and age 51, I urinated 3 times in the amount of time it took Wilson Contreras to round the bases after a home run. To put it into terms you fully understand. So that's stupid. He's just red hot right now. I mean, maybe you want to do that by virtue of trying to cool him off, which is equally stupid, but it makes more sense than the styling and profiling tag. Come on. My guy Mac is at 239-1070. Hello, Mac. How are you?
How you doing today, John?
Mac, it was great to see you yesterday. Thanks for coming out.
It was awesome, man. That's kind of what I wanted to reminisce about. What a great time that was yesterday, and an outstanding day for Teachers Treasures and an outstanding day for Mike Wells' charity. And, neither one of you guys were losers, man. That brisket was just incredible, both of them. There was no loser yesterday.
You're damn right. And there's never a loser when we can make some money for those that certainly need it, like Teachers Treasures. And the Brownsburg Educational Foundation was Mike's. That's what he did the smoke off for yesterday. So awesome. Yep.
And it was funny. Jimmy's dad showed up late. He was trying the brisket. After he tried Mike Wells' brisket, he goes, "How did he come in second?"
That's because my brisket was better, Mac.
I know. But I'm just saying they were both very, very, very close.
Yeah, they're good.
Mike had nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
Yours was awesome as well. And it was a great day.
Completely agree. Hey, it was great seeing you, too. Thanks for coming out and being a part.
And Pat Sullivan does a great job with that.
You know what? And I'm glad you brought that up again. He deserves all the credit because it would not happen without Pat. And Pat wants it, and we love doing it. And for Teachers Treasures, we raised over $4,000 just yesterday doing that. That's awesome, and that is all Pat Sullivan. That's why we love him. And if you go into Sullivan Hardware and Garden, please tell him thank you very much because he's the reason why that happens.
And there's not a better place to go and shop than his shop there because he has stuff at his shop that you're not going to find at Lowe's and Central Hardware and places like that.
Exactly.
And the personal touch, Sully's Grill. So anybody needs anything that he carries, they should go there and shop because that's such a great place to shop.
You got it. Hey, Mac, it was great to see you, man. I'll talk to you on Saturday night.
Sounds good, man. Thanks, John.
Music Mac likes to drop in the Larceny Bourbon Double Shot Power on Saturday night. And I love it when you guys turn that over to me, too. Yeah, just play what you want. All right. That does work right there. All right, let me take a break. We'll return. You on the other side. Bowen, top of the hour. Live Nation Day giveaway. You can win. You go online, 1075thefan.com. You can listen to win as well. Somebody's going to win. Get signed up and then ultimately get your chance to win a pair of tickets to all 13 shows through Live Nation, the Live Nation Day I named a little bit earlier. It's an outstanding list. Shout out to the lounge via YouTube Live, by the way, too. Good content in there today. Appreciate you. Back with you next.
How well do you know the Indiana State Fair? Test your knowledge today at 1075thefan.com for your chance to win 4 tickets to this year's fair.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
With our rates at a low 2.25%, refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. Get started today at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, John, for Big Red Liquors, you got the 58 Central Indiana locations. You can sign up to win one of 3 big green eggs in the month of July. No purchase necessary, but you got to be 21. Smoked meats, outstanding. And your chance to have the state-of-the-art Big Green Egg is happening right now at your local Big Red Liquors. Sign up today. Go in there, and you're going to get some stuff for the midweek. You'll get some stuff for the weekend, and sign up to win one of 3 Big Green Eggs courtesy of Big Red Liquors at their 58 Central Indiana locations. Check it out online. It's bigredliquors.com today.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/love.
Reunited, the Black Crows present Shake Your Moneymaker. Played in its entirety. Plus all the hits. This Sunday night at Ruoff Music Center. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Shake Your Moneymaker. Reserve seats on sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
John for Love Hitting in Air. Get that number written down, 317-353-2141. I am sure it has been a summer where your system probably needs a little look-see right now. Give that thing tuned up and checked over by the best. Love Heating and Air. John and Chris Love at 317-353-2141. And anything you need done, and even if you need a new system, know you're going to find the best prices anywhere. The workmanship is absolutely unmatched. People you can trust. John and Chris Love, Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
Tire Discounters, where you can skip the shop. Tire Discounters now picks up your vehicle from your home or workplace and delivers it back to you.
Play the Capital Golf Charity Amateur Tour July 31st at Prairie View for $70. Support great causes like Wounded Warrior Project and V Foundation. CapitalGolf.net.
Kurt Cavan here for Thorpe Real Estate. We've talked sports for years. Now let's talk about buying or selling your home. 317-622-8350.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
1, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. 2, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I got you.
Sage Karam podcast, 1075thefan.com. He's going to race on August the 14th in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The IMS road course for you. Oh, Slava asked this. JMV, what's good with the Dead Mouse tickets? When is Dead Mouse? I don't have any Dead Mouse tickets right now. That doesn't mean I can't get them, because I guarantee I can, but that's going to be here downtown, right? You know who Dead Mouse is? That's EDM, everybody. I thought he was going to be down at Pan Am Plaza doing his thing. I need to learn how to do that and then give myself a name and put on a mask, and I can be like that. I'll be like Marshmallow. Marshmallow's already taken, though. Maybe I'd get some big, like, SpongeBob-looking mask and call myself Scrub. Would you come out and see Scrub do EDM? Got to have a SpongeBob mask out there somewhere. Hey, here's Scrub.
It says it was July 22nd.
Oh, well, it's already happened.
Yeah.
So, no, I guess I don't have tickets for that. Thank you. I've missed it. Scrub's a hell of an idea. I think Scrub could be even better than Marshmallow. And Jimmy's at 239-1070. Jimmy, hello.
Hey, what's up, John? How are you doing?
Great to see you and your dad yesterday. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure. And I wanted to say something before I get to my Colts take, if you don't mind. I really appreciate how you and all the Indian sports media really embrace me and know that I have a passion for sports, and hopefully I make sense at least 10% of the time.
You are the best dude ever, Jimmy. The best dude ever, and everybody knows it. Listen, there's nothing that translates over the air more than that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And my brother Tommy and I went to Colts camp today, and I just wanted to get your take, John, on Carson Wentz this year. I know it's going to be a long process for him. I just hope that he has a great year, but what are your expectations for Carson this year? And you have a great night, John. Thanks again for having me on.
Jimmy, thank you very much. I mean, my expectations are, and I'm living in the land of hope right now, because you just go on last year, and you're still just going on hope that he can reclaim the type of career and level of play that he once had. So it is hope. But with that hope do come a certain level of expectations, because you went out and you hard targeted him and you brought him in here out of the mire that he was stuck in Philadelphia all last year. And right now it's easy to go ahead and blame injuries and, his relationship with the head coach. Any of that stuff that you would want to lay blame on right now, you can. But he has to perform at a high level. Production-wise, it may not be at the level of Rivers a year ago, but that's okay. Consistently good game in and game out. And then in the process, we're going to also see what Chris Ballard has put together, how much better that this group surrounding him can make him and or elevate his game. When Jim Irsay joined us a couple of months back, there's a reason why he said that by far the most important piece of this team is Carson Wentz, because there's no do-over there. I mean, what is the plan if it doesn't work? Yeah, the plan is called FUBAR if it doesn't work. So it has to work. And again, I'm not going to hold him to the level of putting up the numbers that Rivers did, but consistently, game in and game out, being able to win a game late, not losing a game via turnovers for this team, that's the expectation. And that should be the expectation. But again, it is a hope of that expectation because you haven't seen it. I mean, he can't be the problem. I mean, he can't be a problem or a part of an issue. Because I know everybody wants to, you always want to talk about the backup quarterback, and you want to talk about, Jacob Eason. There's no answer. This has to be the answer. If it's not, that is a significant issue that will take me longer than the time we have left in this show to adequately discuss it. All right, quick break, and we'll return. Bowen from camp coming up on the other side. Yes, you guys have asked me about who I think the Colts are going to draft. Check that. The Pacers are going to draft coming up tomorrow. We know about the Colts draft. The Pacers, who they're going to draft coming up tomorrow. And apparently, some of the Vegas odds have it on Kispert. J. Michael says Kispert or Duarte. We'll get that and more with Bowen next.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Now through August 1st, save up to $150 off select sets of tires only at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires, the team you trust.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Trading in or selling your car, truck, or SUV? WeBuyAnyCar.com takes the hassle out of selling in just 3 easy steps. 1. Get your free online valuation. 2. Drive to your local car buying center. And 3. Walk out with your check in as little as 30 minutes. So don't wait. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Hey, quick shout out to my friends Kevin and the gang. It's Forum Credit Union, always having great ideas, and now is the time because the kids are heading back to school. So make that transition seamless and utilize the Forum Credit Union student checking account. It is ready for you to save, spend, share, whatever you need right now, and it is absolutely perfect for high school and college students, giving you mobile access, account alerts, and easy ways to pay, whether your student is at home, across the country, or even abroad. It is glorious. So get involved. Stop by a branch location today and ask about it, or simply type it in. Utilize forumcu.com today.
Brad Paisley Tour 2021.
Just another American Saturday night.
This Saturday, Ruoff Music Center.
Let me buy you a drink, there ain't no wine beer.
With special guests Jimmy Allen and Cameron Marlowe. Country music superstar Brad Paisley Live. Reserve seat tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Your friends are hosting an online viewing party to watch a soccer match. But if your slow upload speeds were to make you sound like an evil robot...
Pass the ball. Pass the ball.
Whoa, who is that?
I'm sorry.
You're not an evil robot. You just need better internet. AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience with 25 times faster upload speeds than cable. Visit att.com/25 times faster.
Limited availability in select areas based on Internet 1000 wired upload connection speed. First major cable providers 1 gig service with uploads of 35 megabits per second. Restrictions apply.
Hey, John, Andy Moore, Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers. Have I told you before about my friend Eric Wilson up there? Because I know you guys are in the market for a vehicle right now, a new set of wheels. And I always try to make it incredibly easy for you. I say this all the time. I need and want it easy. I want to have a very high level of comfort. That's what you get with Eric Wilson and his colleagues up at Indiana's Best. Right now, 0% financing for 72 months on nearly everything at their location. It doesn't get any better than that. And then the car buying experience is going to be absolutely spectacular. So head up there. It's easy to get around the construction. That is no issue at all to get you to the absolute best car buying experience ever at one place. Andy Moore Buick GMC. Ask for Eric Wilson today. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
At Bank of America, we're helping to meet the need for more affordable housing through community development banking.
I'm Andy Krask, president of Bank of America, Indianapolis. My teammates and I are deepening our commitment to help meet the affordable housing need. Here in Indianapolis, we're also collaborating with Habitat for Humanity to expand options for more people. What would you like the power to do?
Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Do you need air conditioning service and are looking for a local dealer you can trust, like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? Find that American Standard air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Who will the Pacers select at the 2021 NBA Draft? Tomorrow night at 8 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
1, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. 2, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Circle Downtown, thank you for joining us. Backyard Bourbon broadcast number 2. Friday, Greenwood, Lindgray, we're coming at you. Larceny Bourbon, we've got the Heaven Hill Distillery products. Randy Strand, Brent Halverson with us. Richard Ford's Garage with the food, hydration via the best. Joe, John, and Dennis in Connecticut. Ryan Stoltz is going to have the New Belgium Brewing. He's going to bring the beer to the Voodoo Ranger, the Fat Tire, but the Fruit Smash Seltzer is going to be there as well. So cannot wait for that. I actually saw this, and I don't know if Ryan is a part of it, and nobody asked me. See, here's what happens when you want your event promoted, and I don't mind either, don't get me wrong. If you want your event promoted, you come to Dr. Promotion, and that's me. You want to go where your event is going to be talked about and the people are going to hear it. And you come here. And apparently they're having a Seltzer Fest coming up on Saturday. You heard that? Seltzer Fest. What the hell is it? Seltzer Fest is what they're having. The Shop and Indies involved. Those are our friends. I need a new JMV Sucks shirt at some point here, too. The shop. So they're going to have a pop-up store there. Food trucks. My friends down in Bargersville, Johnson's Barbecue. And I like Union Jack. I hit up the Union Jack back in May. Seltzer Fest is what it is called right there. Anyway, J. Michael just tweeted this out within the last 7 minutes. We already heard about what he believes to be the Pacers zeroing in if they drafted 13 and the availability is there on either Duarte or Kispert, which is not really thrilling a lot of folks out there. But also, this from J. Michael within the last 6 minutes, there are multiple teams who have made efforts to trade up, meaning giving up additional assets to position for Duarte. That's why he was invited to the green room. If the Pacers take him, that means you think these other teams are wrong. So, firing back at folks that don't like Duarte. What are the reasons not to like Duarte, other than the fact that he's 24?
I think that's the big one. He had 2 years at Oregon, 2 years at JUCO.
That'd be it. Hey, JMV, before I get to Kevin Bowen, by the way, I wanted to hit this from Jason. There definitely has to be a level of consistency and effectiveness from Carson Wentz, but I expect the Colts to rely on D and running much more than passing, in particular early in the season as he gets acclimated. Well, and that's all a part of the support. And that's why I mentioned earlier, he can't be any sort of problem. But as any quarterback will tell you, at some point they're going to be relying upon you to win a game, to take you down the field. Regular season, postseason, or what? And you cannot be the issue, which still, to me, makes him the most important piece to this. But the support around him, no doubt. Thank you, Luke. Seltzer Fest is at the Fowling Warehouse. I don't even know where that is. Been around here all my life. The Fowling Warehouse. Shout out to Seltzer Fest. Bowen, 1075thefan.com, is with us. Have you long since left Grand Park in Westfield?
I have, yes. That is the nice thing about the morning practices. Besides being out of the heat for the most part, although it's pretty hot, yeah, you're able to get home before rush hour.
Hey, is it just me? And if you zeroed in on all these rumors, these draft Pacer scenario rumors, these trade Pacer scenario rumors, are you with me? Do we share the opinion that basically all of them have really sucked so far?
Yeah, I guess that's probably an accurate way to put it.
Good. I just wanted to make sure.
I I love watching Eric Gordon, but I don't love trading back for a guy that's injury history is right up there with Malcolm Brogdon and T.J. Warren. The Kyle Kuzma thing, I don't know. I didn't love that one either.
I tried to talk myself into that on the way home last night. I did. I was using Blake as a soundboard. Blake was going, what? And I tried to talk myself into it. Didn't really get there, but I tried.
Yeah, I don't think they need another wing. I think that they could really use, again, just a super change of pace and approach at point guard. I think kind of a stretch 4 if you want to go smaller and change up what you have, with the 2 bigs. And then, kind of more of a scoring, 2 guard. I know Karis LeVert could potentially fit into something like that, but that I just kind of look at Kuzma as, whatever. Similar to T.J. Warren. I know they're not the same player by any means, but I just look at some similarities there. So,
well, somebody's going to have to come off the bench, and I don't know if Kuzma would want to go someplace. I mean, I know he comes off the Pine in L.A., and you might go ahead and embrace that, but I can't imagine if he gets shipped out of L.A., La Land, and wants to come off the Pine for anybody else.
Yeah, coming off the bench for the Lakers and the Pacers is probably 2 different
I'd imagine
stories
so. Yeah.
for your ego. I don't. And then I caught you with the whole, Corey Kispert, Chris Duarte that J. Michael was reporting. I feel like both of those picks. I'm more in the Duarte camp than Kispert, but theoretically they're supposed to be safe picks. High floor, come in here. They played in college for 4 years. They can make, quick impacts. They should be in your rotation, those sorts of things. I don't necessarily look at 13 and view it in that light. Part of me says, hey, the Pacers have drafted so poorly that they need any hit to get on base whatsoever. But I look at it and think, when are you going to be up here again? I think you got to take a big swing. So that's kind of how I view that. To me, it's not so much of, let's try and get our 7th or 8th man and – his ceiling might be a fringe starter. Like with Kispert, people are like, he's the next Doug McDermott. Well, Doug's a really nice player, but that's not what I'm looking for when, you aren't drafted in the lottery year in, year out.
No, you're looking for validation. And I've explained this before. At least that's what I gather. And I'll explain, then you can answer. But I think most Pacer fans out there are wanting to see them drafted 13 to get some validation for the job that Pritchard and Buchanan are doing right now because of what the past history has been. That's how I'd categorize you. You're looking for that validation on somebody useful or beyond useful being drafted at 13 if they choose to do so.
Yeah, I think that's more of an indictment of how they've drafted. The drafting has been so poor. You've struck out your last 3 at-bats. You're just praying to get on base any way, shape, or form. And well, I obviously see that, and I get that. That just seems like a really loser approach to go into the draft. I think you got to take a big swing, and if you miss, you miss. But if you're able to hit on that, you can really change the trajectory of your franchise potentially for the next decade. And I know the odds of that aren't great and whatnot, but when you're drafting in the lottery, I do think you got to take a pretty big swing, especially when you have been, for the most part, a perennial playoff team and often drafting kind of early 20s, late teens, things like that. But when the Carlisle hiring was made, the immediate guys I thought to were kind of guys that have been in college for quite a few years and not maybe as much of a project as if, Bjorkgren is still around or you had a coach with more of kind of a longer-term view.
So Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So where's your lean right now for tomorrow night? They going to legitimately draft at 13, or is there going to be a deal in place and done by then?
Well, I do love the NBA draft because I feel like you really go into it with a lot of unpredictability, and I love the grainy international film that you get as well. But I don't know. I mean, part of it's just flip a coin, but I'll say they draft Duarte at 13. I'll go there. I just trading back and I don't know. I don't love that. I think even though he's older and Kispert's a little bit older, I think it helps you get someone younger into your pipeline as well. So, yeah, I'll say that they make the pick with a veteran college player. I really hope it's not Franz Wagner. I don't think he'll be on the board based off some of the stuff that I've seen, but I wouldn't love that pick.
Yeah, I just think to me that if they end up trading back and then getting an already established player, maybe in the process shipping out somebody like Jeremy Lamb, I think that means that Rick Carlisle, who's going to have a lot of input anyway, don't get me wrong, maybe has even more than a lot of people think. Because I'm kind of on the lean that Carlisle wants to get going with people he can trust that are rotational and ready to go right now and not sitting around waiting for somebody to evolve.
Yeah, and I think that's part of some of these rumors that you've heard, and I think that's part of, honestly, if you do make the selection, drafting guys that have been in college. Now, I look at a guy like Davion Mitchell, and I just feel like he's got a little bit more upside, even though he has played in college for several years. To me, and I also think he fills more of a position of need. It just gives you a different type of skill set. I think he's immediately just gives you a dog and kind of an edge on the defensive end of the floor that's needed. Can he become a Drew Holiday? Something like that, that might be, wishful thinking, but I think he's got some skill set that is similar to that. So of the older college guys that could be around in that 13 mix, I don't know if Mitchell will get all the way there. I feel like based off some of these rumors and mock drafts, he's slipping a little bit. I would jump all over that at 13.
So Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com, hanging out for the first day of Colts practice up at Westfield at Grand Park. And listen, I know we're all going to be overzealous and overanalyze what is going on up there. That's just the way that it is. That's our gig, and we got to stick to it. But in your over-analysis of what you saw in day number one, what stood out to you, bud?
Well, I mean, I guess you got to start with the quarterback. I mean, I kind of expected day one, rustiness was what I saw. And honestly, his pass catchers didn't give him a whole lot of help either. Mo Alley Cox had a couple of drops. I'm not shocked by this. And I guess we have to preface any sort of training camp takeaways by saying Carson Wentz threw 13 passes in an 11-on-11 session. That is an extremely small number. So I do want to preface that. And he's also not faced a defense since December, since he got benched. So you got to acknowledge that as well. I think just and we've talked about this, but what definitely stands out when you watch him play quarterback, based off the guy you watched under center last year for the Colts, is his ability to make plays with his legs. And it's not like he's Lamar Jackson, but just he gives you much more of a presence outside the pocket, on the perimeter, zone reads, run pass options, bootlegs, all those things that just you never sniffed with Rivers. Now you watch a quick rhythm passing game today, and you're like, oh boy, that doesn't look anything like Rivers. So there's obviously sacrifices that you're making here in this switch at quarterback. So that stood out to me. I actually thought Rock Ya-Sin had a pretty good day. Now I've reminded myself of I feel like Rock has had decent training camp performances. Then he gets into the regular season, and teams really start picking on him, and that's when he gets exposed a little bit. But I thought he had a couple nice pass breakups, and with Xavier Rhodes and T.J. Carey on the COVID list, it's such a great opportunity for Rock and Marvell Tell and Isaiah Rodgers all to try and make an early impression. So, those were, I guess, a couple of things that kind of stood out to me.
It's Kevin Bowen with us. What have been your thoughts on the questions and then the answers you've received as far as the COVID, I shouldn't say the COVID concerns, but the vaccination concerns surrounding not just the Colts, but basically every team in the NFL presently?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm getting tons and tons of questions of why the hell are you even asking these questions? I think a major reason why you're asking this is because if you test positive for COVID-19 and you are vaccinated, you're able to get back to work potentially quicker than if you are unvaccinated and you test positive for COVID-19. For example, right now, Frank Reich, if he has back-to-back negative days of testing, he can come back. Whereas if you test positive and you're unvaccinated, it's 10 days if you're asymptomatic or 14 days if you're symptomatic. So that, I think, is why you're asking these questions because, if for some reason, whatever, you get to week 14 and Carson Wentz happens to be unvaccinated and he tests positive, is your quarterback going to be out for 10 days, 2 weeks? That is a debate that you want to know. And I think asking on the first day of camp, to me personally, it's up to these guys whether they want to answer it or not, but I see no issue with asking the question. Again, several of them have chosen not to answer it. I respect that. Several of them have answered it. So I've seen both sides of it. We probably asked 10 guys. No one has answered it and said they're unvaccinated. For the majority that have said that they are vaccinated, then you've got about a handful that have just chosen not to comment. So I think that's why you asked the question. And with Wentz especially, John, you have to remember this too. His playing time this season matters in terms of what draft pick you're going to give to the Philadelphia Eagles. Is it a first rounder if he plays? I think I want to say 75% of the snaps. A second rounder if he plays 70%. So that is just another layer to that story.
Yeah, I was talking to Hakeem Hines on Monday, and I didn't even ask him. He just said it. You know what I mean? He just said,
right.
He said, I'm fully vaccinated, and just kind of went on with it. But, that's a difference in us all. Some of us, there's some out there that don't want to, some people out there that don't want to give anybody any information, and that's what you have to deal with, I guess. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's a little element of, I guess, like kind of talking politics. Like some people just don't want to do it. Other people,
I'm sure as hell not doing it. So yeah, there's
right. We'll go out of their way to tell you, yeah, I voted for this, I voted for that, blah blah blah. So to me, first day of camp, first chance you get to talk to these guys when the numbers are as low as they are with the Colts and their head coach is out, and again, you can have games impacted. To me, I don't care if Carson Wentz is vaccinated or not. Sure, I don't know if I get close to it. Maybe I would hope that he is. I don't know, but I'm strictly, think it's relevant from the sense of if for some reason he were to test positive, which obviously you can test positive if you're vaccinated. You want to know how long he could be out, because that's where it gets really, really tricky. Like I've already had people ask me today with Rhodes and Muhammad and Carey, all of them on the COVID list. People are asking me, are they vaccinated or are they not? Well, we haven't got a chance to talk to these guys, so we don't even know if they were to use that info. But if we did know that, then you can get a better gauge on how much time they would potentially miss.
All right, so Frank, the protocol is here that he could get 2 negative tests and then come back, correct? That's correct with Frank?
Correct.
Because he's vaccinated? Yes. So did you get any update on any of that?
No update on that. I don't expect the Colts to be giving out that sort of information. And
so you're just going to see him back, right?
Right. Chris Ballard said Monday. I think he tested positive last Friday, so 10 days would be, Monday at the earliest. Sunday is an off day for them. So, yeah, unless we see him out there tomorrow morning or Friday morning or Saturday afternoon, then he's there. But, for the most part, and part of me was like, am I making this a bigger story than it is? I do think him not out there for Carson Wentz's first 3 or 4 practices, I do think it's somewhat of a storyline. I don't think it's life-changing for the season Carson Wentz is going to have. But, like I was saying earlier, John, today was the first day Carson Wentz has seen a defense since December. That's a whole lot different than, routes versus air in Texas, or whatever they did in the spring, which wasn't anything really against the defense. So, Marcus Brady, he can more than, handle the play calling and whatnot. And it's not like Frank runs practice. He more of just kind of manages it. But I do think specifically with Carson, it would be good to have him out there just, to have a guy that clearly Carson trusts. I think there's an element of stubbornness to Carson Wentz, which, I think stubbornness, it often takes on a negative connotation. I don't really use it in that light. I use it in the light of, Carson Wentz really respects Frank Reich, probably more than anybody else in that practice field. Good or bad, that's the case. So I do think not having him out there is just a little bit of a small hurdle for Carson right now.
So Kevin Bowen, he is with us. What do you think about our red-hot Reds right now and Joey Votto? I shouldn't say the red-hot Reds, but Joey Votto is certainly red-hot.
So are we buying now?
Well, they've went out in the last 15, 16-plus hours and added 3 new arms to their bullpen. That's as good as – that's Yeah. I mean, that's something. They've done something. They finally said, enough is enough. Let's do something different in the bullpen. So, honestly, that's good enough for me right now.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, like, I worry so much about timelines and how long you're going to be able to keep whatever core this is together. So I'm glad that they are buying, even if they are, whatever. If you look at the games out, it's like, yeah, shouldn't you buy if you're 4 out or 5 out of the deadline? Like some people would say, that's stupid. But you got a chance. Who knows how long you're going to be able to, keep that opportunity. It's not like the NL East and the NL Central has a ton of teams. Really in the thick of it. It's really the NL West that has a lot of wild card teams. And then obviously, who knows if you're able to make a run in the Central. So I'm good. Yeah, I'm good buying it. Obviously, Votto last night. That was vintage him. And, yeah, I would just love to get to mid-September, John, and they are legit in the race.
It'd be nice.
We're not talking about, 2022.
It would be nice, to say the least. I don't know if I trust it, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not sitting here acting
good
like
enough.
I'm believing in it.
Late July, right? And it's good enough to watch it last night and watch how it sunk to the depths the night before, and then we had to, watch the two clowns act like clowns per usual with Garrett and Baez. And then move on. I for one didn't want Garrett to get Baez. Baez was in the on-deck circle last night, and I thought, man, just get this dude so we don't have to go through that. And believe me, man, their teammates are as tired of it as I'm sure some of us are.
Yeah, from an entertainment standpoint, I wanted to see Baez come to the plate, but from a Reds fan standpoint, I wanted no part of it because I don't trust Garrett. I trust Garrett about as far as I can throw the guy. So, yeah, no way, shape, or form did I want to see that. I don't know if, like...
Hey, who would win in a fight, by the way? Would Garrett and Baez, if they actually fought, which, I think they should do that. Just fight before the game, get it over with, and then we'll all watch baseball, and they can do what they can do. But who would win in a fight?
God, I would hope Garrett. I mean, doesn't he have him by, 5 inches and 50-some pounds? I mean, isn't Garrett like 6'6", 230, 240? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, though. Yeah.
I mean, Baez strikes me as a guy that's got a screw loose or two. So, I mean, I'm sure he's a little crazy, but I think Garrett's got a little crazy in him, too. So, I would hope. And honestly, John, I think part of my just like, I'm happy to see them buy. I mean, who the hell knows if these arms are going to do anything? Probably not. But just the sting of last year's playoff loss, that game, I remember I was filling in for you that day and just watching that game unfold in extras after, Bauer pitched so well. Like that, I think is adding to like the just please try and make a run, try and be aggressive, act like you're a legit team and see what the hell happens.
So this just came down. The Nationals and Phillies game has been postponed because of Washington's COVID outbreak, according to ESPN.com. Multiple players and coaches have tested positive today, and Trey Turner did yesterday. Size of the outbreak remains to be unseen, but may wind up being the biggest in MLB this year. So we are going down that. We are going down that path again. Here we go.
Yeah, and one thing, I don't want to talk about it, any more than you, but it is a storyline. I think one thing to note on the Colts and their numbers right now, we heard Chris Bauer say earlier in the week, 63%. I'll be interested to see first if these guys that get in the building that aren't vaccinated, do the fact that they are treated like, pledges with the protocols, do they start to get vaccinated? Because some guys have flat out come out and said, Paris Campbell, I think was one of them, or maybe somebody else, basically that the protocols dictated them feeling like they needed to get vaccinated. I think Ryan Tannehill said that today for the Titans. Like, these stringent protocols are a reason why. But the other thing that I find interesting is, like, again, Ballard says 63%. What does that look like when you cut your roster from 90 to 53? Because and again, this is totally just shooting from the hip here, but, like, I would think more of the back end of the roster guys would be vaccinated because they don't want to give these staffs any additional reasons to potentially cut them. So does that number shrink when you cut your roster down to 53?
I mean, and some of the bigger name players that have been around a little bit and feel, as you mentioned, more secure. may have a different rationale and probably do all together. Not all of them, but maybe some of them, I'm guessing.
Right. And there are definitely prominent players for the Colts that aren't vaccinated. So, yeah, I that's just kind of another little, wrinkle to this all. But I really don't think we're going to get in a forfeit camp or anything like that was being discussed.
Hey, Will, somebody asked me this. Let's just say, for example, in the NFL, not necessarily the Colts, but anybody in the NFL, if a game is forfeited, will they're going to pay back the fans for that game, I'm assuming?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Colts home game is forfeited because whatever, the Titans have had too many COVID outbreaks. Are we going to pay back the Lucas Oil Stadium workers that work game day? That one, and someone was saying earlier that rule was in place last year. I feel like we never really heard about that rule.
Yeah, and I think most of these rules were in place. The protocol leading up to now is different, but most of these rules did exist last year. And they still navigated the season. I mean, it was tough. I mean, they had to do a lot of shuffling the deck, but they still navigated it the way that they did. But some of these rules most of these rules, I think, were in place a year ago, weren't they?
Well, I feel like they're being made a lot more public this year. And honestly, I feel like it's just kind of a way to threat.
Well, they are. I mean, the NFL's being demanding to those within the NFL to be vaccinated. I mean, that's the only difference because the vaccine is available now, whereas a year ago during the season it was not. So
right.
They are, that's their way to, and I've described it as this. The NFL's kind of, I shouldn't say kind of, they are being the heavy here. And then you haven't really seen, other than Chris saying, well, it's the right thing to do or whatever, nobody has been outspoken as far as the Colts are concerned. So I think you take a little bit of the pressure off how hardcore teams are about this when you're the NFL, and you just set up these stringent guidelines that need to be followed if you aren't. So
now, I will say, I thought Irsay was pretty aggressive last week, John. I
agree. I agree with that, yeah. I do.
I don't have the quote in front of me. I'm paraphrasing here. He mentioned something along the lines of, I don't understand why guys opted out last year. And I was like, whoa. I mean, that's, there are certainly some guys that I think had pretty legit family reasons. Obviously, no vaccine this time last year. So that was, quite the stance for him to take. And that was not, obviously he was like, we encourage guys to get the vaccine, and I don't understand why you wouldn't, things like that. But then for him to go there on the opt-out guys from last year, it definitely caught my attention.
Hey, quick, before I let you go, will Darius Leonard get a new deal before he ends up getting the least bit pissy via social media?
Yeah, I don't know if he's already pissy on social media. I think he'll certainly get the extension for the start of the season. I'll say he gets extended before he steps foot on the practice field this year. Right now he's out with that ankle issue. Okay. Not wearing a boot or anything, so I don't think he's out for long. But, I know Braden Smith was adamant. He told his agent, I want to get that deal done before the start of camp. Now, I don't know if Darius has made those same demands, but I think he'll have it done before the first practice. But that's me just guessing.
Hey, me, old school spitballing me would say, all right, so Braden Smith transitioned nicely from a guard to a tackle.
Yes, he did. And that was certainly not.
And why, old school me would ask why. But not anymore because Eric Fisher's waiting in the wings.
No, and that's certainly
why?
That's not what the Colts thought. Back when he was drafted, they were adamant guard, and here he is, transitioning to tackle, and has done it at an extremely high level. So I thought very deserved to get that contract.
This offensive line is going to have the bar set at the highest level of anybody in the NFL here relatively soon. I mean, the way that it's put together, how much money they're spending, and provided Eric Fisher plays well enough to where they want to add his salary, his future salary to the mix here too. I mean, this is going to be the highest paid offensive line in the history of the NFL.
And, we don't talk about it as much, John, but the D-line, if you look at the amount of draft picks they've invested there, I mean, it is an absurd amount of resources. I mean, you've got first, second, some third, I think mostly first and second round picks. I mean, there's at least a handful, maybe like 6 or 7 on that D line. So it might not look the same like cap, contractually wise, but they've invested a whole lot in the D line. So they've sent a message and made a commitment there. It just hasn't worked out anywhere near like the O-line.
Follow him at Colts Camp. It's Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com. He will tell you exactly how many missed throws Carson Wentz has, exactly how many drops Mo Alley-Cox has, and just why the tight end position in day number 1 didn't look great, right? Is that what you're describing?
Correct. And, who knows? Maybe we'll have a kicker competition begin tomorrow.
Yeah, kicker competition, baby.
All the juicy tidbits from Grand Park.
Well, whenever Zach Ertz gets, whenever he gets gassed in Philly, he can get over here too. All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Tell everybody up there I said hey.
All right, John. Have a good one.
It's a Bowen, 1075thefan.com. Quick break. Back with you next.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Now through August 1st, save up to $150 off select sets of tires only at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Hi, we're OfferPad, the new way homes are sold. Go to OfferPad.com, tell us about your home, and we'll send you a great cash offer. Or, if that's not your style, we can also list your home with tons of free OfferPad services, free handyman fixes, house cleaning, yard work, and more to get your home show-ready. We can even advance renovation costs to maximize your home's value. Whatever way you want to sell, you're sold with OfferPad. Sell your way today at OfferPad.com. Terms and conditions apply. Real estate brokerage services provided by OfferPad Brokerage LLC. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey, John, for LD Smith Plumbing, the absolute best, it is local at 317-284-9526. So any needs that you have with your plumbing, whether or not you're just making these minor adjustments or you want to go to something bigger, or simply put, you have an issue, because these things happen when you least expect it. Go with the best. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Again, Lance and LD Smith Plumbing. Call them, tell them I sent you. 317-284-9526 online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
With our rates at a low 2.25%, refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. Get started today at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, it's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. It is back. If you want the best game day experience possible, this is it. It's all you can eat. It is all you can drink. You have music and you have everything you need right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium to get you fired up for a football Sunday. It's BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Log on now, BullseyeEventGroup.com.
There's Pablo in his natural habitat, opening his internet bill in fear. He just saw his 12-month promotional price ended. Uh-oh, and he just discovered the equipment fees. Back away slowly.
If your internet bill drives you wild, just remember, you're not a bad person. You just need a straightforward price. Get AT&T Fiber. Unlimited internet with no price increase at 12 months. Visit att.com/no hidden fees. Limited availability in select areas.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I, live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hey, John here. If you're thinking about diving into what people are describing as a red-hot housing market, you got to go with the best. And I can direct you to the absolute best. Mark Dietl Realty, 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. MarkDietl.com today. You got to go with the best, because if you don't have the best, you're likely not going to get the most out of your situation. In fact, you're going to get promises from Mark, multiple offers in 3 days, or he's going to sell it for free. The best is Mark Dietl, 317-755-4232, MarkDietl.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com today.
Tire Discounters, where you can skip the shop. Tire Discounters now picks up your vehicle from your home or workplace and delivers it back to you.
The Ride with JMV.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, talent, and I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Sage Karam was really good earlier. He's going to drive for the first time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Coming up August the 14th out at IMS on the road course. Bowen Just With Us podcast for each 1075thefan.com in front of tomorrow night's NBA draft. The Pacers currently sit at 13. Jay Michael's going to join us. We're going to have a variety of fantastic info for you on tomorrow's show. Chapel regarding day number 2 at Colts camp up in Westfield at Grand Park. All coming at you on tomorrow's show. This reminder, too, this is Live Nation Day. And as we have talked about all day long, Live Nation is offering $20 on tickets to all your favorite concerts this summer. I got the list for you right here. Now through August the 1st at livenation.com. Now, here at the Fan, we're participating in all the fun, too, with Live Nation Day. Live Nation Day has been what we're talking about as well today. You can listen all day, get signed up online for your chance to win a pair of tickets to 13 shows this summer and then ultimately into the fall. Those shows include the 1st of August, the Black Crows. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. Yacht Rock Review, White River, The Lawn, which is awesome, on the 14th of August. Hall & Oates and I believe Squeeze is with Daryl and John on the 19th of August at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Fan favorite, Zach Brown Band, the 27th of August at Ruoff. One of my favorites of all time. Love the song Down, 311. Little alternative ska for you at the Lawn at White River State Park on the 7th of September. Florida Georgia Line, country music fans coming up on the 2nd of October. And Skinner. Play some Skinner, man. That is on October the 8th at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. So there you go. Be sure to sign up for your chance to win. Be good. Getting back out there, that's good. No doubt that's good stuff right there. JMV. Why was Reich being tested if he's fully vaccinated?
Fully vaccinated players
that's part
and
of the
staff,
protocol.
They just get tested every 14 days rather than every day like unvaccinated players.
Exactamundo. So that was something the other day we were trying to figure out. So he could have 2 come back negative and be good to come back before that Monday day.
Yeah, it's been reported he won't be back till Monday, but I guess if he has 2 negative tests in a row, he can come back.
And we'll see. Yeah, I saw this a little bit earlier, too. Didn't mention it. Pete Thamel had this. The Big 12 has sent a cease and desist. I got one of those once. You ever had a cease and desist?
No.
I got mine from Tom Griswold. Come on. Actually, I didn't get it, but we got it. Charlie Morgan got it here. Then Charlie Morgan shared it with me. Donnie Baker came on here and made a joke, and I'm assuming that nobody over there found it funny. But, yes, I have had a cease and desist. The Big 12 has sent a cease and desist letter to ESPN. The letter demands ESPN end, quote, all actions that may harm the conference and its members, and that it's not communicate with the Big 12 conference's existing members. The cease and desist. James at 239-1070. James, thank you for joining the show. How are you?
I'm fine, John. I know how I can make you feel uncomfortable.
Uh-oh.
Take the 3 cases of Little Kings that you owe me and throw those out. In exchange, that you would play Meatloaf as your lead-in for an entire week.
Exactly. Well, we'll say this. Didn't we do another bet
recently? Yeah, the original
Yeah.
bet, what you already lost, and you owe me one.
I owe you a case of Little Kings. I can come up with that.
And then we double or nothing that the Rams will beat the Colts.
Yeah.
And triple or nothing that Stafford will have 300 yards.
Okay. I'm down with that. Yeah, double or nothing. So 2 cases of Little Kings. That'd take us about 5 minutes to drink.
I got a paper story for you.
Okay.
This comes from the beat writer from the Golden State Warriors. It came up on my phone while I was. Golden State has offered the Pacers Wiggins and both their first-round draft picks for Miles. Or the second one is Wiggins and Wiseman and one of their picks for Miles and God, I thought
let's do it. Do it. If you're gonna trade Miles, I kind of want it to be a good situation for Miles too. I think that's a great situation for Miles. Do it.
What is Wiggins worth? I mean, I don't know anything about him. So
I'm not too enamored with him, but whatever. So, well, Wiseman's interesting. I don't know why they would want to do that, but whatever.
Well,
doesn't make any sense.
They don't really want to, but the Pacers might force the issue. I think you should read the article. I can't get on it while I'm on the phone because my phone's got the hotspot. But it's on the internet right now. It's the beat writer of the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, I'll check that out for sure. I appreciate you, man. James, we're still
Later.
on board with the bet, too, the double or nothing. Dang it. Laney left her basketball shoes in the car. Boo! Man, I just get the text, where are my shoes? You know, why don't you know where your shoes are? But I bet you they're in the Acadia, and the Acadia is down in the parking garage. Therefore, you are going to have to wear another pair for the short term. Son of a gun. The dreaded "where are my shoes" text. Gigi says that our good friend Kurt Bedwell is in for a remote on Morse. I've never done a boat remote, but I would do it. You know, I know a lot of you, too. I know a lot of you are saying, hey, this Backyard Bourbon broadcast stuff is really fun. How can I get involved? And I always tell you, yeah, sign up on 1075thefan.com because we do that coming up on Friday. We're going to Greenwood with Lynn Gray, and it's going to be spectacular. Lynn and family and 30 of her friends and what we bring down there. But a lot of you are asking if I'm still, or I shouldn't say if we are still having the yard sale. Not only is the yard sale going on, Kyle, the yard sale goes on Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day yard sale. The 2-day yard sale.
Isn't that how most yard sales go?
Is it?
You do all that work.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to have 2 days worth of.
I haven't done my background research on yard sales. The 2-dayer. So if you would like to come over and buy some of my stuff, this is your chance.
Will the JMX Sucks shirt be there that you got yesterday?
You know what? No, I gave that to Music Mac. I said, this is going to be worth something one of these days. Music Mac came out, and I wanted to give him something for his treble. The JMX. That is pretty awesome, though, by the way. It was awesome. I absolutely love. Margaret and Teacher's Treasures are the best. My guys at the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel. I am not selling any of my lunch boxes, though, Sean Patrick Turley. I'm sure my wife would want me to. I just don't know what the hell the value is. I think the value is what somebody is worth, or what it's worth for somebody to pay for, I guess, like anything else. But yeah, come on over. We're a yard sale. 2 days. Gonna be a lot of working right here. And shout out to Laney. I bet your shoes, Laney, are in the car, so you will have to wear others. Sage Karam, Kevin Bowen, podcast 1075, thefan.com. Busy day tomorrow, and a lot of stuff to win on tomorrow's show as well. I'll tell you all about it next.
This Wednesday is Live Nation Day on The Fan. Listen all day for your chance to win a pair of tickets to 13 shows celebrating live concerts being back.
Hi, my name is John Hassey, and I am owner of Hassey Construction and president of Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Every year, some unethical construction companies illegally pay workers cash under the table. That puts businesses Nowika represents that provide a good living wage, pay payroll taxes, and employee benefits at a major competitive disadvantage. These companies rob our state of over $405 million every single year. Imagine what could be done for Hoosiers with that money. Please visit indianacip.com/tax fraud to learn how you can take a stand.
Hey, Johnny for CarX. Shout out Joe Childers, the 14 Central Indiana locations of CarX, keeping you summer road ready. And I know that the priorities are now changing for your summer road readiness, right? And I mean the priorities by you wanted to stay summer road ready for vacations, and now you want to maintain that by virtue of having the kids go back to school and getting back to that normal work and school schedule. But still, your car, truck, or van needs to be running the correct way. And you want to make sure you maintain that. And that's what the Joe Childers Run CarX locations in Central Indiana will do for you. Keep that AC fine-tuned, just $19.99 right now. And the greatest and the latest on brakes and tires. And nobody's going to beat that price tag and the workmanship you'll find at the local CarX nearest you. And to find it online, that's CarX.com today.
Every game has 1,000 storylines. So if you've got an angle, a hunch, or some info you got from that guy in 10 fantasy leagues across the street, Unibet's got that bet. Unibet Sportsbook has all the bets you need for every game. Sign up now to get $500 risk-free. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. It is back. If you want the best game day experience possible, this is it. It's all you can eat. It is all you can drink. You have music and you have everything you need right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium to get you fired up for a football Sunday. It's BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Log on now, BullseyeEventGroup.com.
You need a work schedule that fits your life, and Amazon has shifts that help make the best use of your time. Whether you're a night owl, early bird, weekend warrior, or somewhere in between, discover the benefits of thinking outside the 9 to 5. You decide whether to seize the day or the night so you can get back to what matters most. Go to Amazon.com/shifts to learn more. That's Amazon.com/SHIFTS. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
It's time for the Crestpoint Real Estate Market Minute.
I'm Terry Stacy, and with us is Patrick Keller, managing broker and owner of Crestpoint Real Estate, Indy's real estate experts. Patrick, what do you think about selling your home as is?
This market is very unique for homes that are distressed and need a little bit of work. We've been very, very successful in selling our clients homes that they, in the past, thought wouldn't be a good product for the market. This year, if your home is distressed and you want to sell it as is, there are lots of buyers who will take it off of your hands. We recently sold a home in Zionsville for $50,000 more than what it was listed for, as is, no repairs needed, and the home was in distressed condition. So if your home is in need of lots of repair, this might be the year to take advantage of selling it, getting more than what you thought most likely, and not having to lift a finger on repairs.
This has been the Crest Point Real Estate Market Minute. Indy's real estate experts get your home value estimate in 60 seconds at sellwithpatrick.com.
Hi, we're OfferPad, the new way homes are sold. Go to OfferPad.com, tell us about your home, and we'll send you a great cash offer. Or, if that's not your style, we can also list your home with tons of free OfferPad services, free handyman fixes, house cleaning, yard work, and more to get your home show ready. We can even advance renovation costs to maximize your home's value. Whatever way you want to sell, you're sold with OfferPad. Sell your way today at OfferPad.com. Terms and conditions apply. Real estate brokerage services provided by OfferPad Brokerage LLC. Equal housing opportunity.
Reunited, the Black Crows present Shake Your Moneymaker. Played in its entirety. Plus all the hits. This Sunday night at Ruoff Music Center. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Shake Your Moneymaker. Reserve seats on sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hopefully, you'll never have a house or business fire. But if you do, hopefully, you'll never forget this name, Michaelis. Michaelis crews often roll in before the fire hoses are rolled up. Then their talented craftsmen will restore your spirits. That starts by being your advocate with the insurance company. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Play the Capital Golf Charity Amateur Tour July 31st at Prairie View for $70. Support great causes like Wounded Warrior Project and V Foundation. CapitalGolf.net.
The Ride with JMV.
Coming up, our conversation.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, caller 9. Chicken fried. In celebration of Live Nation Day, here's your giveaway. Number 9's going to win tickets to all of these shows here, right? All of these shows between Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center and the new incredible-looking lawn at White River State Park. 13 shows this summer, which would include Zach Brown Band, as you hear right here, in Chicken Fried. Yacht Rock Review coming up the 14th of August, which is going to be outstanding. You're going to go see Slipknot, so I'm assuming you're going to have to cruise by Greenfield and grab my guy Blue Ball because he loves every Friday the 13th movie and Slipknot. I actually watched a little bit of Friday the 13th Part 3 last night. No fooling. And even Skinnerd. Number 9 at 239-1070. Shout out to Live Nation. Love you. You guys are always awesome to us, and I can't thank you enough. Live Nation Day giveaway. Number 9's a winner. Kyle, great job from you. Laney, I got your shoes. Sage Karam, Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com. Laney, your shoes are on the way. Chapel tomorrow. J. Michael tomorrow. Pacers draft night tomorrow night. I got you covered top to bottom. Back with you tomorrow at 3. Have a great night. Laney, got your shoes.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview